three. Hello,
Whoa.
everybody. There we go. We finally made it. After 7 minutes of hearing the same old music. I apologize about that. I didn't have a good preview. It said 9 p.m. and I didn't want to give anybody the wrong message. Oh, Echo Man. We got an Echo? Really?
We got an echo. Have I got a case of it too? I mean, it sounds great.
How was that? Better?
No, I've still got your echo. Anything. Am I echoing? It's very lonely.
Video died. The audio died. Give me 1 second. Audio died. This is a little difficult, this program, so I apologize about that. And give me 1 second.
Hey man, take your time. Take your time. While you do that, I'm going to hold this up.
There we go. Backyard Astro Imaging.
Am I echoing?
There we go.
It's very lonely.
Video died. The audio died. Give me 1 second. All right. So, are you getting echo on your side?
Yeah. Oh dear.
You have an echo?
I'll just stay quiet. Dan, you do the show. I'll listen in.
Ciao. Let's see. We got a Ciao Dan from De Biase Rosario Ross. So we got 18 people watching. I think I know why we got a little echo here. And how's that? Is that better?
No,
Why is that work? Why is that?
I'm sure you had it. I'm sure you had it.
Is that better?
No,
Why
you haven't got anything on there, have you?
Now I got a mad echo for you. Check.
Yeah. Go. 1, 2.
Yeah, I got an echo on you for some reason. I don't know why. Let me see. One more second, guys. I apologize. Where's the audio coming from? Microsoft. Timbo. I mean, it's working out good online.
Go with it.
All right. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but hey, go with it. As long as there's no echo online, I'm good, man.
No, there's no echo online. We're good.
Right.
All right. So I guess
I'll leave with it.
you know what? You know what you're doing through the rendezvous, right? You're watching through rendezvous. The dashboard, right?
Wildcast Rendezvous. Yeah, gotcha, man. Yeah, sure. You look good.
I know why. Hold on a second. There we go. No echo, right?
Yeah, sure.
You good now?
I'm good.
No echo, right?
None at all.
Nice. All right, cool. I fixed it.
Just
I'm
my
a
man
genius.
now.
I'm telling you, I'm a genius.
Well, no, you are. You are. The world needs to know more about the genius of Dan.
So now we're done flubbing around and being silly. So I'm sorry about the technical difficulties. This program is very, very intricate, and it's like kind of you switch one thing, and it's kind of a little weird. But you know what? We're doing good. So welcome to the first edition of, I guess we'll call it Astroworld Before Dark.
Yeah. It's light here. This is the very first daylight edition.
You actually look awake, Tim. It's not 4 o'clock in the morning. You look awake and cheerful and everything. Look, I could see your eyes.
That's extremely kind of you. I feel about the same. You know what it's like when you're in the Astro world and you've had a few. You start with a few missed nights and you never ever get them back, do you? So after a while with Imogen, you're just on one long sleep deprived. It's like having a baby for years.
Yeah, I wouldn't know that, but I'm gonna lower you a little bit because you're a lot taller than me, apparently. So we're gonna lower your head down a little bit. There we go. So I just brought your head down a little bit. So,
do we need it? Do we need that much head?
Borderline. So yeah, we actually got our first question already from DiBiase. He wants to know what he or she. I don't know. It could be the.
Well, no, this with and the rest.
Sorry. They want to know what we're doing.
No, I didn't mean that. How that came out. I'm just very sensitive to the broad range of identifications that human beings can enjoy now.
Sure. Yeah.
In the free world. So yeah, I didn't mean that. How. Yeah.
So moving on.
What's the question?
What are we doing? That's the question.
What tonight? Well, we didn't actually get around to a topic, did we? I'm sure Tarek hopefully will come up with one, if not for this week, for next week. But what about Q&A for a little bit? It's normally fairly busy.
We got 26 people watching right now, so that's a good thing. So people are, I'm starting to wonder if maybe we should push the time a little bit earlier, not only for your sake.
No, there's no need.
Yeah,
really,
really,
there's no need at all to do that.
Okay, you sure? I don't know if that's the British dry humor or.
You get served refreshments.
Oh, I get served refreshments. Yeah, I guess.
That's it. I need some of that. I'm having to pour my own Somerset water here, so I'm choosing one. You know me, can't do a show without a glass of.
It's still a little early. I got my Diet Coke, so.
Sure. Oh well. And you're in constant training, Dan.
Got to have my daily dose of aspartame or aspartame.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What does that do? What does it do? Drive you mad, or settle you down? Does it? It's that way, isn't it?
It's caffeine free, so.
Oh, I got you.
It's caffeine free, so I don't get psyched up, but I get a crap load of cancer from the aspartame. So. Win-win. Everyone wants to know what we're talking about, and we're going to start losing people. Start talking about something.
Diet Coke.
So I have a groundbreaking thing, I guess, for now.
You do? Oh, yeah, that's what we're going to start with. Yeah, right.
Yeah, so let's talk the discussion about, and since I'm a newbie, with the first one I'm going to mention is Astro Processing Tool, which is APT. For those of you avid users out there.
Astrophotography tool.
Yeah, and SGP, which is Sequence Generator Pro, which is what I've been using for the better part of, since it probably came out to the public. It's still fairly new. I want to say 3 years, I'm thinking.
Is it that new? I'm probably 2 years into
2 years,
Pro.
It might be 2 years. I kind of,
right.
Now that lockdown, I'm now on my third or second or whatever week I'm in. So everything's a big mush. So I don't even know what year it came out.
Yeah. I think I'm a couple of years into it, and it must have been well established by the time I got involved in SG Pro and floundered. APT is wonderfully simple. In fact, their strapline, it's the Swiss Army knife for astrophotography. It's pretty good, I think. So, Dan, but more importantly, how did you find your first night on it? Got anything?
Well,
get any data?
I do. I did M101 last night. My first time with APT, and I had a little
issues.
It's not as automated, I guess, as SGP.
How it might? Yeah, I'll tell you what. The robotic side of Sequence Generator Pro is potty, it's literally bonkers. But APT seemed to fulfil most, if not all, of my requirements. But I do fall to pieces with it. At one point, again, it was Amy Astro who basically said, if you don't use it, I won't answer your questions. I don't use APT. So that was how I migrated to it. And PixInsight, of course. So what would you say less automated? What were you finding? Now, you've got auto-focusing. You've got the rotation as well. And you've got filters. So you've got quite a load of, you've got an administrative burden. So did it cope? Well, could you spin your wheel?
It did take, you know, listen, you know, with software in general, there's always a long, especially when you're doing something from scratch, it's, you know, getting everything set up right. I actually have my telescope. My telescope's sitting over here, hooked up on a case right now. So I had everything kind of working on it all day 2 days ago, just to get all the filter settings right and the connection to the scope. The one thing I do like, and I'm sure there's a way to do it in SGP, I'm just not sure how, I guess, but the automatic connection of all the equipment is pretty cool.
Like that? Yeah.
So except it doesn't automatically connect to the rotator. There's a lot of weird little things with APT. So like I could. I always the thing I really like about APT is I could script my end of sequence a little bit better. So I could do certain things with it. I could actually warm up the camera, park the scope, whatever. I just hit end of sequence and it just goes down the list.
End of sequence.
Photo sequence. Which is really cool. However, I thought it was funny that, you know, I break down and set up every night.
Heartbreaking stuff, man. Heroes. Stuff of heroes.
So what I guess my issue is this. So there's a script in APT, and this is I'm really splitting hairs here, but you know, I'm being a little nitpicky.
We don't think you are. You need what you need. Tell us, Dan.
So I really wish, and I said this with Sequence Generator Pro, and I sent it to the guys over there to see if they could actually do it. But to rack in the focuser at the end of the sequence, so I could take the telescope off and it'll reset to 0 and whatever.
Oh, interesting.
And
so you like to park your focuser. So you've done all your flats and diddly wop, and you've closed the show. You're going home. Game over. Park's closed.
Yeah, park closed it up because number one, when I did the foam in my case, I guess I'm a little bit late. And you never know when you put the scope back in its case. You know, the focus is going to move either way. You know, it's not. You know.
Well, what case? I haven't ever seen this. Actually, this is something for the manufacturers. Have you ever been supplied a case with a telescope, which are wonderful things to get? And I think I know why we get them. The complimentary flight case. I think I know why we get them. I'll probably say it out loud because that's what I am, Bertie Bubble Mouth. But have you ever got a case that's had like an extra 10 inches for your stuff? So you can put it in the case, because then so what's the case for? The case, here it comes, it's only for shipping, isn't it? It's the cheapest way to stick it in a flight case. It makes perfect sense, but when I've got it, I'd love to keep them in the flight case with all the on the end.
Sure.
With all my gubbins, right? So manufacturers, come in, I'd pay $50 more for a case with a bit that I can use, please.
Yeah, that's either got the pluck and peel inside or whatever it is, something that's a little bit more customizable. You know, right now I got what did I get? The Esprit, and that came in a nice case.
Yeah.
It even had these little handballs in the top.
Little handles. I think you're getting
not handles, handballs. They were balls.
Yes. Yeah.
Little handballs. There was like 13 of them, 13 handballs. So I was like, man, I could go to the park and play some handball with these.
It's a free gift. Right, I'm with you now. Right, as a free gift?
No, I think it's they're used as spacers for the case.
Really? My word. Well, genius.
I thought it was kind of funny.
Right. So not packaging handballs. Right. Okay. But yeah, whatever.
But to your point,
Like
I mean, if it's form fitted for the case, for the scope with that focuser and whatever is the stock, whatever the stock is.
Delivery purposes only.
Yeah, once
Storage in
you
your
change
phone.
something, you're done.
Yeah. All right. Maybe so. That's me. Probably that's a gripe. That's a gripe too far. But hey, how about it? Give us an option.
You know, that would be nice.
Okay. So the rest of it, I mean, it's okay. It looks a bit. What era would you say the interface was from? It reminds me a little bit of 80s arcade.
What the APT?
For APT, yeah.
APT. So I thought it's very reminiscent, and I think Trevor from Astro Backyard actually mentioned this as well. It's very reminiscent of like Backyard EOS, Backyard Nikon.
Right.
I did find APT very more user friendly as far as the graphics interface.
Yeah, you can't get lost in it, can you? I mean, if you can't find something, keep looking around the screen.
It's
really, on there.
It's really, you know, it's just a matter of, again, with anything, you go to a brand new shopping market, you know, and you pull in the driveway, and then you park your car, and you can't figure out how to get the hell out. Same thing with the software. You got to sit there and you got to kind of play around with it and find out where everything's there. It's just
I don't think I've ever even heard the term workflow applied to image acquisition until I hit something like Sequence Generator Pro, and you have to, well, you don't have to, but you end up building your own customized GUI, dragging modules and laying things out. And I don't have this particular module that perhaps looks at the exposures that are going on, and you have a histogram, whereas APT, that's it. What you see is what you get. A WYSIWYG interface, isn't it? What you see is what you get. There's not a lot hidden. There's not a lot to get lost in. Whereas Sequence Generator Pro it's like War and Peace. Once you start having a look at options, it's my God. Well, Sequence Generator Pro and PixInsight, I would put in the same box of complexity and tabs and levels of.
And then you got like a Maxim DL, which is.
Oh no, I've never seen it. I've never seen it. Isn't it $600 or something?
Yeah, it's like $600. Yeah, and right. That's like, I think that's for the Pro version with all the plugins.
Not much. So, is it good? It better be good.
Oh, it's awesome. I actually purchased Maxim DL4 when it came out. Now they're up to 6. I think they skipped 5.
Okay. Right. And can you stay current then? Is this one of these perpetual?
If you were current, you could have gotten upgrades just like anything else. I think, but now since I'm 2 steps behind or like so many years behind,
right.
I would have. They're only going to give me a $50 voucher on Maxim DL6. So okay. That's when I was looking for other options. If I'm spending $600 on a piece of software, then.
Sticks in your
Eric Watson is online watching us.
Eric, how you doing, man?
Dennis Wild is on us. He's saying, "How's
Dennis.
your weather?"
Dennis.
I don't know. I don't even know if I said this. I meant to say it. Dennis got a new scope.
Another. Okay, go on.
He mounted it yesterday.
Okay.
14-inch edge.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
and he just went like that with it, didn't he? It's just up there on one hand, guiding it in like that.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
His mind. So I can't wait to see. He's gonna get some sick, deep sky stuff. He's gonna get all those small targets and those small galaxies. And it's gonna be sick.
Yeah, the wonder stuff. I like all that. So I think that's one of the next frontiers for us. Is and it's somewhere. It seems that a lot of the long-termers, the real addicts, like Dennis, who've got house money.
He's got the itch, man, big time itch, and he's got the Paramount, he's got the observatory. Dennis is going to be like the next he's got a 14-inch edge now. He's going to be taking pictures like Damien Peach,
Well, yeah. Isn't it going to be so much fun when we all visit and his at the barbecue that he's putting on for us?
Let's see. So
Dennis said, thanks, Dennis. Looking forward to that.
Eric wants to know, how is the plate solving in APT compared to SGP? And he also likes the focusing aid on APT, especially when using a Batinov mask.
Right, yeah. It's got some little tricks up its sleeve that are really useful. A highly magnified Batinov aid.
So is that a digital Batinov mask, or is this like
no? You got to have your own mask, and
okay.
I don't know. I guess it digitally enhances it. It allows you without. Normally when you're focusing manually, you end up cranking up the live view, and
sure.
It's got this little spot magnifier, so you wander your cursor over your normal preview.
The red box, right?
There you go. Yeah, there you go. So that's
box.
quite a useful little. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. So you can see your Batinov performance, and I'm a batty man. Can't say that. I'm a Batinov man.
You know what? I haven't used one in a long time. I got to be honest with you. The SGP focus routine.
They're brilliant when you've set them up, aren't they? But once you've got it really tweaked.
Yeah.
I saw your curve the other week, Dan. Yeah. I saw your curve, man. Wasn't it? Yeah, got a nice curve.
First time I've ever turned, I've got nice curves, so I've never
been Beautiful. No, but it was. And do you know what I've wrestled with? Different types of autofocusers. I think we touched on it. We all like a bit of moonlight, don't we? You certainly do. Oh, no, Amy does. You're eating. I haven't even had my dinner.
But
cheers.
But
he's lost the thread now.
Yeah, so the focusing, I was a little bit annoyed at APT for this because there's no real autofocus routine.
Right.
So
as you would expect.
Well, SGP does, and say, there's a lot more. I guess there's a lot more control, I guess, on things. For the setup, and once you have it all set up, there's complete automation. Whereas APT, I'm really scared to stack what I did last night because I thought it was gonna just do it, the autofocus like SGP does. So I guess I got a good test of whether or not these Astrodome filters are actually parfocal. So
that'd be nice to know. Useful to know, but can you ever? Is anything ever truly parfocal?
I don't think so. It'll be off by a little bit. I mean, every piece of glass is different, I guess.
Can I just throw in probably a really bad possible answer to your winding in the focus on SG? Can you do it already on SG Pro? I assume to wind your focus in, rack it back in at the end.
No.
Right, can you do something like tell it to take one shot on a filter that you haven't got, or I don't know, maybe double user filter offset that tells it that the offset is some ridiculous value like
negative 4,000 or whatever.
Yeah. I mean I'm terrible at these things. If I ever program a robot, it's going to be so ropey.
That's a good thing. So I can do like a filter 9.
I guess so.
Filter 9 and negative 4,000 and see if that works.
As your last frame in a diddly do, but that would have to be after. I mean, I wouldn't want that to happen before you would get in onto your flats and stuff. To be going, I'll just put it. No.
Oh look, I got no dust on it. I got nothing. It's great. I must did a good job cleaning that sensor.
Oh yeah, exactly. Oh, so don't let me get too much in your thoughts there. But that's my first thought.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. I'll give that. I have no problem giving that a shot. But the reason why I was talking about this between APT and SGP is that why, and this actually, well, it's more so. Let's just talk about APT first. APT as an end of sequence option. You could set the rotator angle to whatever you want. So I could zero out the rotator.
Yeah.
But I can't zero out the focuser in a script.
Oh, can you not? I thought, because again, that's the sort of thing that I looked at and went, you could do anything with that. I could get a keyboard out and leave, and I'll just leave that alone. And I'll do it myself. And so, because I can, it gets a bit dangerous. I've been around computers, and I know when I shouldn't fiddle. So I
Don't
thought
fix it
about
if it ain't broke.
oh, totally, totally. Especially with you know how mind warpingly tedious this can be. For I was talking to one of our friends, Vicky Pink, who'd taken I'm sorry to digress, but all the equipment off to put a bar on and a guide scope, an all-day job to find out that you haven't got the correct bolts, and so you have to then put it all back in the box. And but yeah, I'm sure. I mean, let's face it. Have you been there?
What's that?
Fiddling about with your scope all day to find out that you haven't got the correct thing, and you have to then build it back how it was, making no progress whatsoever, ended up with a headache.
Or you bought the wrong thing and you have the wrong adapter or the wrong bolts or the wrong threads or the wrong everything. So, now you're like you got all the garbage all over your dinner table.
Don't. There was a burr on the thread of my 2-inch Starlight Express SX, and I couldn't get it on the thing. I did end up.
It at all.
No, something else went on it, but when I went to put it on the scope, it went a quarter of a turn and stuck. And I was just crying, going, don't do it. I reversed it. It's got a little. I reversed it and just went, that's not important now, is it? It's on the other end. But yeah, forgive me. So that's a digression. APT. I quite like it. I'm comfortable with it. It works for me. You can open. I'm sure I've opened multiple instances of it, and it hasn't crashed. It's quite lightweight on the system. Sequence Generator Pro seems to be quite heavy to load, seemingly. Whereas APT doesn't seem to have any load. I appear to be able to run 2 separate instances, and it understands. Sequence Generator Pro has a real fundamental problem with handling multiple cameras, and I like multiple cameras, especially of the same variety. And I wanted.
It does have that.
Right.
When I had the S-Bigs, the 2 S-Bigs, I used to have the. Before I went to a ZWO guider, I had the S-Big STI. I had the off-axis guider and everything. I had the whole package deal. And I had to actually, what did I have to do? I had to boot up the guide cam first. Mm-hmm. And then
to make sure it gets detected.
Yeah. So it's
it has a preferred sequence. Well, I ended up with 4 ZWO cameras all trying to go at once, and sometimes it would work great, but never automatically. There would always be a sequence or something that would load with the wrong properties, and you'd click on that, and it would destroy an already running sequence. So I like multiple camera setups. I think that's really kind of nerdy, groovy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, funky's bad now, isn't it? Funky's not good. Funky's bad, so it's groovy.
Funky.
Yeah. So no, it's not funky at all. It's really good, and I enjoy it. And that's part of my passion is to see lots of things all going on at once, and in between crashes, that's kind of fun for me. So APT is also stable. Did it crash for you?
In the beginning it did. I think that was because of me. That wasn't because of APT. I think I had too much stuff going on. So I think it just crashed because of Windows. I don't think it was an APT.
Right. And can I make a leap of assumption that this is running on your Eagle 3?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
So I
same.
So I mean, I definitely haven't had that kind of issue yet. I have had the issue where SGP constantly crashes.
That's friendly, isn't it?
Yeah, so
few updates.
Also, you know what I did have an issue? What was that? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was about
a
few updates too creep in on Sequence Generator Pro. It does like a little update.
Oh yeah, you'll get the little box in there. It says updates, and then you're like, I'm not updating anything. It's my imaging night. I'm not doing anything. Just do it on another night.
Totally. Totally. Sorry. I missed what you said there, Dan.
I don't know what I just said.
I'm sorry. I bet it was good. It was a golden moment. Oh, hey, I'll tell you what, we've had lots of people. I sent a hello message to the club earlier in the week, and we've got 15 new people already. Nice. So I've only just said hello. So hello again, 15 more times.
Yeah, welcome to the club.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome, man. We're gonna take this place by storm because you know what? Every time what I really want to get to is I want to get more people. We seem to be getting a lot more. I want more people to come on.
Oh, come on as guests. Oh, yeah, definitely. Wasn't it fun with Dennis and Eric?
Guys, you got questions, you got answers. We got people here. We got a lot of people having the same problems. Come on the show and just ask you questions and just send me a text or an email over Messenger. You know, I won't. You know, and I'll get you on. You know what I'll do is on the YouTube I'll put on the email address and I can respond to your email and you know we'll get you on, and even if it's only for 15-20 minutes, you don't have to be on like Eric was for 3 hours. You know,
yes, you do.
You know,
I have to.
Eric did a great job. He had a lot of. I wish I had more to say in that conversation, but I had nothing to say because I don't have a peer or an observatory.
That doesn't. These things aren't mutually exclusive.
It's kind of like when you're in a group of people and they're all driving motorcycles and you don't have one and you just have a car and you have nothing to say. So
I'm going to send you a peer in tiny pieces.
Wait, where am I going to put it? What am I going to put it?
Like those magazines where you build a galleon over about 400 weeks.
Eric said you're running the dual ZS103, so APT would be a really good for your setup, keeping things stable on Windows.
Right, we did. I did that, and it was much better than Sequence Generator Pro. Worked very well. Got far less confused. Less confused.
Doug says with SG Pro, I can run a full night automated while I sleep. Yeah, I mean, I don't have the guts to do. I have not had the guts to do that yet. Especially on Long Island. Actually, there was somebody in Long Island over the past couple of weeks that had telescope equipment stolen from their backyard.
Oh, that's rotten.
Yeah.
Come on.
They left, so that kind of turned me off of doing that. So I'll take naps and I'll run outside.
How are you going to sell that sort of stuff on? Hey man, I've got a stereo, a gun, a bar of gold. No, a telescope.
Exactly.
Schmuck. So well, I don't know. I mean, this kit looks all shiny, but I hope it's hard to shift. I hope it gets back to him. Really, I hope it's a small enough world that it gets back to the man.
Doug has an observatory, so he's still So again, an observatory is a wonderful thing.
Doug. Well done, Doug.
I own my own house, but the backyard is not conducive to. I mean, I got north and I got east. My west is limited, and my south is super limited from the backyard.
Yeah, me too. Actually, and it's a bit heartbreaking. Orion season. With my particular view, it's like, oh dear. I just caught it a little tiny bit. I caught the horsehead this year, and that's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay. It's not the same.
No, but you know what? You do narrow band from the front yard, and you do broad band from the backyard. You know? Nice. Everyone's yelling at me. Why am I doing imaging during a full moon? Why am I doing broadband during a full moon?
Well, with a one-shot color and a quad band from Altair Astro, you can.
There you go.
Look at that. And you could win this filter or a tri-band or something else of your choice in the triple chance raffle.
The filter slider, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. The filter slider or the DSLR, the very solid metal DSLR adapter for your space cam, and you think about it. No, that is. I never thought that could be done. Quad bands and tri bands. So one shot color, and we've got a version for a DSLR too. So no one's left out.
Eric said, "Nice swift plug."
Yeah.
for that Altair.
Come on, Eric. What do you expect from an old marketing man?
Dennis said you just have to put out security cameras like Chuck did. Yeah, well, eventually I will. But Dennis, I'm hoping. I don't know how much I want to put on the outside of the house, Dennis, because you know I'm moving down there sooner or later. So, you know, and once this coronavirus is done and everybody's healthy and everything, that's going to be number one on the priority list, is getting out of New York. I'm
escape from New York. It really is. It on. How exciting!
It's been on. I was already out. I was already out in New York.
Sure.
I lived in Savannah for 2 years.
Right.
And
Right.
I had to come back up, family issues, and I
Yeah,
never went back
sure.
again. And then I met my wife, and so I still stayed here. So you know, I didn't even go back. But you know, it's definitely you know, definitely a nicer area down south. Eric says thank you for the tip on the first contact cleaning solution.
Oh, hey man, no problem. And I will sort out. I'm inches away from sending you that link to the pier. Haven't forgotten. I got smashed on cider.
Dennis said he'll
Sorry
be imaging
about
and
that.
sleeping too after he gets his weather station set up. So yeah,
Yeah.
That's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be
Mhm.
awesome.
Mhm.
So another thing that let's see with APT. So they both have really good. They're pros and cons to both, just like anything. Pros and cons to both.
Yeah.
APT very user friendly.
Mhm.
The actual auto connect of all your equipment is great. The scripting at the end is great. The control that you have, you know, is great. To me, some of the cons, for me, the auto focusing is better in the SG Pro, the routine. You don't have to sit there and you don't have to calculate offsets or anything. It will actually autofocus when you tell it to autofocus. The plate solving, which is something that we should get into a little bit, because that's very very different on the two platforms. We'll talk about that. Plate solving in Sequence Generator Pro is more automated.
I found it very simple to set up too.
Yeah,
It's not hard to set up. Right, in APT, I've failed. I'm afraid.
I thought it was doing it from
I don't know why I
SGP
failed.
to APT. I found it very easy because it was almost exactly the same. So I didn't even start the first way.
Oh, really? I am Homer Simpson then.
So,
I'd be looking at that going, I can't do it.
actually, SGP, you had to point everything to two different catalogs for blind
Yeah.
solve, and with APT was only one, so it's kind of
Might have been a 4 a.m. thing. I mean, it's a degrading environment. It's a harsh environment on the mind. We're doing stuff that's when everybody else is asleep. We're doing stuff going, oh God, please. Well, I certainly am. 4 a.m. I'm tired.
I hear you.
You know,
Actually,
you know.
I do.
I feel really, when it's time to do something even semi-complicated, I can just about make tea and coffee and make sure the PhD isn't ringing. But at 4 a.m. I'm quite docile by then. Setting up computery stuff, no, not good.
Jeez, hold on a second. Let me close this out.
Who are we hoping to have had on? I was really hoping someone would have volunteered to come on and enjoy our company on the multi-screen session.
Yeah, so far nobody yet.
Oh, come on.
We got a bunch of people watching.
As you know, I always turn all the other preview screens off. All I see is you. All I see and hear is you.
Yeah, so
all the guests.
Jesse's online. I like.
Oh, hey, Jesse.
APT talks. I like that APT talks to me.
Oh, Jesse, you nicked my joke. Right, the best feature of it is sequence started.
Yeah, image
it really
completed.
Is. Can you hack that? Can you just? I must find out if I can get in there and hack the voice. There must be some WAV files or something in there. I'll get her to say some cranky stuff. Oh, we'll get her to say some cranky, weird stuff. I'll pick a bunch of WAV files and get her to say things like, go to bed.
Time for sleep. Take a rest.
Actually,
Doug is asking... what broadcast tool am I using? I'm using Wirecast Pro for the broadcast, and I'm also using Restream.io for the restream to the three platforms that we stream on. We stream on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. This is not Facebook Live, Adam. Hi, Adam. How you doing? Adam, I gotta tell you, I love your videos, man. Your videos are awesome. Adam Block is watching us.
Here, we're not worthy. We're having a moment. Oh God, I better. Do you know what? I had a complaint last week from Amy who said my head was too shiny, and now I had the blocks on, and I'm just suffering from complete shine. Adam, yeah, big follower. I probably owe you a drink, a meal, and and
Absolutely.
anything I've got from this actually quite recently has been a couple of friends who have basically bullied me. No more. We will not answer questions, Tim, unless you do it properly. And so Adam Block's videos. Yeah, I'm learning, I'm starting, following the rules.
I'm actually thanks to my wife, I am now a Adam Block Studios customer.
He needs to know that. You are, and you plug him every week.
I do. I love his stuff. I love the way that Adam. I love the way that you actually talk to the people and go so in depth on your videos, step by step by step. I mean, it's so good. He does such a great job, and I just gotta throw hats off to Adam because you know what, it's just awesome stuff. So if you have a chance, go to adamblockstudios.com, take a look at it. And it's awesome. It's awesome.
It is, isn't it? Should we officially endorse that? Let's boom.
Oh,
it's
I will.
Officially endorsed.
I'll definitely endorse Adam Block. Absolutely. I mean, not that he needs endorsing, but I mean, But hey, listen, I love it. I think it's great. Even his first video, that in the fundamentals section, which is like the Pix Insight like 1.0. He's got two different versions, 1.0 and 2.0, which is the Horizon section.
Right.
The 1.0 stuff is, I mean, I literally have a Word doc on just the first video of things that I thought that I knew about Pix Insight that I did not know. Right. I have like 2 pages on the first couple videos. So
incredible. But I can believe that the depths of that program, the people that work on it, I don't know, are they people or are they some kind of, it's a Mekon brain that's been captured that wrote Pix Insight. It's a hell of a deal, and the people that can go under the bonnet and teach us, well, that's great. Because I've got to say, right, we plugged this, didn't we? We know about this.
Yep.
But that's there are times when I've used that, just I can't get it, and pages are falling out from rereading it. So there's definitely a combination, but yeah, big up to Adam.
Yeah. So I mean, some people, the one thing, and I'm in my line of work, I'm more of a training person. I train people, and I gotta kind of learn how people just learn in different ways, and the way people learn. Some people are visual, some people are audio, some people are hands-on, some people, some people are a combination of all three. But I am more of a video hands-on. I can't read.
Right.
I mean, I can read, but I can read. But my
explains a lot.
It does. But he's just it's just that I like to see and hear.
Yeah.
And hands-on at the same time, and that's why YouTube is so awesome. You sit there and you read. Oh, okay. That's what I'm missing.
2 screens we touched, didn't we, last week? 2 screens. See the master there at work. Replicate it here on your program. Couldn't be easier. Even though my attention span of a goldfish can fail between the 2 screens, that's definitely one way for me. 50 quid monitor, no excuses, and that's great for processing too. I know Amy Astro is another 2 screener. Yep. She's quite modern with her screens. I think she's 4K and 5G and triple XL on the screens.
I think you're mixing up a couple things, but
yeah. Never. They're both MPEG 3, I'm sure. No, she's got exactly matching. I don't have the luxury of exactly matching screens. That's got to be cool. And I think hers calibrated too. So she's taken the proper steps. Whereas I've got 2 screens that are both horribly oversaturated. Damn.
So both for especially for people that don't know why the two screens? Why don't you go into that? Why the two screens? What's the benefit of having two screens?
Two screens for astro photography, from image acquisition to processing. It's just the biggest. It's the biggest help you can ever get, because especially for those lonely 4 a.m.s, I can watch a docu on one, monitor the scope on the other. But more realistically, I can split my screens, watch two cameras. I don't then have to cram things in. And my second screen was $50. It's not big or fancy, but for processing, I quite like having the picture I'm adjusting there, and the knobs and twiddlers and stuff here, and also to have a before and after shot, so I can blink between the two as I apply stuff. Because again, you've seen how my seem to go very, very good, and then it all goes at the end with a bucket of mixed paint just thrown all over it as a final treat. And I've got to learn to stop doing that. So the two screens help me. It's just more real estate. You'll never go back to a single screen ever, however big it is.
I wish I had the room. I have one screen. Right. That's it. I just don't have the
room. How big is that screen, Dan? I feel as though it's right. That's pretty big, though. That's good real estate.
Yeah. So I got a 27-inch screen. I just got it from Philips. I was trying to downsize because I actually bought this computer that I'm using now because of the show.
Well, that's something else, that PC.
So I bought an Alienware kind of craziness, and so I said, you know what, let me get a new monitor because I need a new monitor, and so I got that. Everyone's saying Happy Easter, everybody.
Happy Easter.
This is our Easter show, I guess.
Cheers, everyone.
And I'll have my aspartame. There you go. And Dennis said Adam is great in the workshops. Also, last NEAC they went 2 hours overtime in the evening workshop. He is very generous. Talking about
he mentioned that when he came on as our visitor. Yeah. How incredible.
Actually, Eric said he would be happy to come back on again.
Cool.
Today.
Cool. Anywhere.
Eric, let me know if you're still there. If you are, I'll send you a link and you can come on in.
Yeah.
What else was I saying? So, so I do have a cop. Let's see if I could do this real quick, and I'm gonna see if I could make sure I got the audio set up first, because I don't.
No, it'd actually be excellent if Eric would come on, because then I can nap off for my dinner and enjoy Easter too.
Oh, stop it!
I wouldn't have missed this for the world.
And
did you get any eggs?
I'm gonna shift this over.
Okay. Did you get any Easter eggs, Dan? I didn't. I never do.
No, I never got any Easter eggs. I don't know. So now I could eat, and we could talk about APT.
Oh, what you got?
So that's APT screen, I think, right?
Uh-huh.
Hold on. Eric said send me the link. And where's my screen? Again, my screen disappeared on me. Do you see the live? Yeah, you see the live up top, right? No, you don't. There you go. Now you do. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you got the live shot. Sorry, that's my fault. Yeah. I had it on me. So that's the live shot up top. So that's APT and how it looks. Right now, so that's the beginning screen. Actually, it's really interesting on what it does here in the beginning. Is it gives you a little checklist on things, and it's completely editable.
Yeah, customizable, isn't it? Yeah.
So depending on what you want, I don't know why 5's all dashes. I guess it's just kind of like.
No.
But
you can type here.
Yeah, you could type. I could do add. I could delete. I could click it and say, okay, you know what? No. Whatever.
It's almost begging you to put something in there.
And then save it. So that's pretty cool. Go ahead.
That looks good. Where's Eric? Come on, Eric.
I got to give him the link. I haven't given him the link yet. Hold on, I've been.
Oh.
Let me see.
So do you run yours in the red safety nighttime vision mode?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. I don't
know why. I don't know why I'm inside.
Yeah, exactly. It's very boudoir. I found it very Amsterdam. So mine's I've clicked mine over to, and I can't see it. That's the other thing. My eyes are bad, and I can't see it properly. Can't read it properly. So I tend to run mine. It's got a customizable skin, hasn't it? You can play with that.
Yep.
Oh, I know something I don't like about it. That clever person or a grown-up might know. The preview, the live view, it's a little dull. It's a little difficult to adjust.
Adam asked me to send him the link to the YouTube. Amy Astro's on too. Hey, Amy.
Hey, Amy.
Amy, you broke that 1,000 subscriber mark. I see you with about 1.2 now. So
really,
yeah, 1.1 something.
I don't know the interest personally. I've never, none of that has ever appealed to me.
What's that?
Terrible, absolutely terrible. Amy Astro's terrible. I don't know. World of her own.
That's that British dry humour, Amy. Don't.
World of her own. That one. I thought she was coming. Are you coming on, Amy? Don't be scared. Eric's coming on.
Let's see. I don't know how many people I can come on at the same time. Amy's like, see if I help you again. Amy, we love you.
You better.
I can't wait to meet you, Amy.
Apparently, I've got 4,000 mile exclusion, which means I can't travel any further to the USA. I can't get within 4,000 miles of her apparently, so I'm pretty much restricted to the tip of England.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, but the weather's good here. No, it's been. I'll tell you what. For an Easter weekend, it has just been sunshine. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, today. Glorious weather. So I'm so sorry. We're going to touch on it. I'm so sorry for all the people trapped in apartments and all the places that you just wouldn't want to be. I'm not. It's been a really nice day. So lots of love to everybody affected by this thing. Please stay safe. It ain't over, is it? The fat lady hasn't sung.
No. And I mean, some people are getting a little antsy over here. And I'm going to
I bet.
Switch this back over real quick. Oh, come on.
We've got to go back to in actual fact, I was chatting with a friend of mine, the friend who needs the dovetail bar screws. And I said, I'll get them posted in the week. So I've got a bunch of stuff that's backing up to post. And quite rightly, she said, that's not essential. And I really am struggling over whether to post them or not as it goes. But I will, because I've got a couple of mugs to post and some other stuff. But I was talking to my postman across the gate and the long gap. And he said, look, if it all dries up, everything will stop. Can't let it all stop.
Yeah, no, exactly. And the one thing is that, we're starting to see some plateauing, I guess, in the numbers in the United States. But people are talking about opening up the economy again. Are you crazy? We just got over this hump. Don't start this up again.
Yeah.
But let's see if Eric is back on. Let's see. I gave him the link. Eric, I gave you the link. Just watch your email.
I see me in the preview now.
Yep. Why is that name there? That name shouldn't be there.
You got a blob on your box, man.
I don't know what's going on there. Let's see. I'll just turn that off.
It doesn't matter.
There we go. Okay. Anyway, so.
Right, that really is a lot of shine on my head, isn't it? Right, I'll have to do something about that. I don't know if there's anything hair-wise I can do about it, but some kind of cap. I'll try. It's a bit warm for a cap.
Amy's raining over by Amy. Adam Block offered if you ever want me to come on, I'd be happy to do it.
Yeah.
Somebody said you need to put some powder. You need to put some powder on your head. So
cement powder?
So some foundation or something. You got this nice full moon kind of right here.
Yeah, gee, thanks.
Amy's like, wow, that is huge. Eric is ready to come on. Let's see. How you doing, Mr. Eric? All right, let me get you back on the actual live shot here, and
Oh, he's there. Right, Eric. Hello, man.
you could hear him, but nobody else can right now. But
Right, oh, got you. I can see him. I can see him. Eric, all right, man. Good to see you. Healthy and well. Look all right. Yeah. Good.
So far, so good, man.
Good. Oh, thank God you're on, because I can smell my dinner cooking, and I'm just my stomach's starting to go to the food. Has that ever happened to you, Eric?
Eric, your audio is on, just so you know. I just didn't put the video yet.
I'm telling you now, Eric, as soon as you start talking to Dan or you press that link, you've got to assume that the world can see you, because there's been several times where we've thought,
what are you talking about?
We are live.
We've done that a couple of times.
Maybe. Did you get any scope action this week, Eric? Have you managed to... Okay. Oh, yeah. Have you got it already?
Wow. Oh, you got it already.
Right. What did you go for, may I ask, please? Was it around the $100? Because I saw some starter, $100. $100. Oh, okay. Oh, that's the comprehensive one. Yeah. Good choice, I think. Very wise. Oh, you did it already. Cool.
The sensor cleaner, either the swabs.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and actually clean the swabs, and you use the cleaning swabs, and now it's to clean that out, and it was all good.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, no more dust. It looked like dirt. It was like Dan said. It looked like I rolled that thing around in the mud.
It didn't look good, did it?
No,
it looked like someone had looked inside that tube and had an involuntary sneeze, right?
Yeah.
Right on it. Nice. Are you going to send us a flat and show us what?
Oh yeah, as a matter of fact, I can do that. I'll post it onto the Facebook page here real quick.
Nice one. Cool. That'd be nice to see that before. And how did you feel comfortable with the stuff? Because I've only ever looked at it it's all theoretical to me, but it just looked as though rubbing the objective, let's clean up the edge today with a sock.
Yeah. It was pretty easy because they have YouTube videos.
Right.
So I would basically follow the YouTube videos, and it was pretty simple.
Right.
So I had no problems. It was awesome.
And what did you feel as you peeled it off? Was it like a new scope?
Oh yeah. It was nice.
Was it nerve-wracking doing that?
I'm sorry?
Was it nerve-wracking doing that?
You know what? On that for that camera, being so much money, putting anything strange on $1,000 camera, you're not. I thought I got a couple gray hairs.
Gray hairs, but
I remember when I sat there. But no, it turned out really good.
Okay,
I'm pleased. Go into Facebook here and I'll pop in the.
Oh, you're going to send us that pic? Cool.
Yeah.
I saw a pic from a lady on a UK group whose child is 8-inch. What was the light switch? Mead light switch. 8-inch Mead light switch. Lovely family scope. Lots of glass on the front. Little Harry or another with the sticky fingers. She turned her back and he'd gone all over. It had just all over it. And she showed a picture of it, and it really did look bad. and I recommended that stuff. I mean, that was all that I know it was a lot of money. I mean, poor lady, that's $100, but it's $1,000 scope.
Yeah.
So, I think it's all I would ever trust. Okay, I just don't like the sound of, even though I got the sprays and the wipes and the photonic, the polymer.
Yep.
The non-contact polymer. It's a good idea, isn't it? Everybody agree?
Yeah. I gotta give it a shot.
Right, it's not endorsable until we've all tried it, I guess, and I haven't. I'm still sitting on the $150.
Nice.
scared to spend. I guess they're not that filthy yet. I've been lucky because I don't move my kit around too much. Once it's working, I know Dan likes to set up to stay set up. But that's something I meant to say, right? When you said about Richie, is it Creighton, Crescian?
Yeah, Richie something.
Richie,
the RC.
Richie
Cunningham.
Right, RC. Right, Richie. I can work with that. I'm a happy days kind of guy. So, so good old Richie. So is that all open, right? Effectively, right down to your sensor, because obviously a refractor is a closed tube, but with that, so basically your sensor will be open to the wind, won't it?
Yeah, I think it would be. You know, at least
in an RC.
Yeah, in an RC.
It's an open thing. That scares
me. I guess if you're using the truss, the truss frame RC, I think it would be. But they do have those Ioptron, the closed frame that looks more like an SCT, OCA. With those.
Does it have a corrector? Like anything that's an open tube frightens the hell out of me. What's to stop a bat coming in?
A bat.
Well, get a lot of bats here, or a moth, or a bug.
Like Nolan Ryan hitting that goose coming across home plate. I mean, what are the odds of that happening?
I don't know. I've never had one. It just concerns me. So, do things like moths end up landing on the mirror at night? I mean, right.
Well, let me tell you something. My friend Ron, he's got the Starfire from Astrophysics. And whether the 5-inch refractor, whatever.
Oh right. I'm 5-inch refractor. Sure.
And he sat there, and he's handicapped, so he's in a wheelchair. And he's been in a wheelchair since he's a teenager, and that's what he is. So, but he left it in his case for a while, and he left it in the garage. So for whatever happened. Apparently, an earwig got into his case. Oh. And left a whole bunch of earwig poop.
Yeah.
All over the lens. So he had little spots on that telescope, on a 5-inch astrophysics telescope. Sitting there, and you sat there, and he had to get the entire thing. He had to send it back.
Wow.
Part of the coating just started to erode from the earwig.
From earwig poop.
Yeah, from poop.
I don't even know what they eat. What was he eating?
He's probably watching right now too. He's like, "What are you telling people about my poop for?"
You see him cleaning it and going, "What is this?"
Adam,
hold on, just let me grab my cell phone, because it's on there and I got to upload it. So just a sec, be right back.
Yeah, I'll throw it on the screen. Yeah. Adam said yes to the moths. Unfortunately, they don't go for the mirror. They go all the way to the filters, down the baffle tubing.
Right, you see? Yeah. What a sensible design that is. Who's Richie? I don't know. I've got some doubts about you, mate, now.
I mean, it's definitely... I've never had the pleasure of getting... and I want to go back to a conversation that we were having between the 80 millimeter... Yeah, you're back. 80 millimeter refractor and the Rasa. And I'm going back and forth with the 8-inch Rasa, and the only benefit that you're really getting out of it is the speed. And the light, obviously the light gathering. The focal length is almost exactly the same.
Yeah, correct. Correct. It's a light bucket. It's a fast light bucket.
Yeah, so I'm like, that's not going to help me on my personal level get those smaller targets.
Right, it won't. No, it won't. Yeah. No, it won't suit everyone. No, it's a very singular. The RAS is such a singular design.
I don't know if I'd stay, because if I were to get a Rasa right now, I would have to get a new flange, new thing for my focuser, new thing for a whole bunch of stuff going on.
Sure.
And I'm already at what, F5 or whatever I'm at. F2.2 is obviously a different story. But
isn't each step a doubling of speed?
I think it's exponential though. I think it's 2.4.
This is a huge jump then, isn't it? F5 to F2. It's like,
wow. It's huge. But you know what?
Bicycle to Formula One car.
I mean, if I'm going to go anywhere, I'll probably get a larger focal length, something just to get the smaller targets. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I always felt on a budget that sort of thing would be to stay on the lookout for that unwanted Christmas present, 8-inch, 10-inch kind of Celestron single fork arm and D4 kit, Yep. 500, I dare I say, one of these unwanted bargains that people don't know about, or even something where the motors have all gone and it's deformed. So one of the old ones, now we know they suffer from the flop and the shifts and all the other stuff, but for Galaxies, just that little bit in the middle, 2 meter focal length, sweet spot in the middle, $500 8SE that's on my radar.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when I was doing M51 the other night, I just noticed how small that thing was in my 3-inch refractor. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, it looked good. It looked fine. I cropped it. It looked okay.
Yeah.
And then you do M101, and again, I kind of went backwards as far as focal length is concerned. I went from an 18-inch Dob to an 80 millimeter refractor. so it's definitely a big difference there.
Definitely.
And they're obviously used for different things,
There are only about 3 big bright galaxies. By the time you've done Andromeda, the Pinwheel, and I guess Triangulum's quite big. But by the time you've done M51, M101, Triangulum, you're starting to, they get small. They get small quickly.
Absolutely.
And so, So, but if you're into galaxies, and I definitely am, I can see myself wanting to work my ticket out. I love the big nebulas, but I'd like to see that something. It's the uncharted territory. It's the next frontier for us astrophotographers is to go hunting the lesser known galaxies. I'm not saying I'm bored of Orion yet. I certainly haven't done my Orion yet. I haven't done my 100-hour Orion. Do you know what I'm saying? But when I have, it'll definitely be galaxies forever. And I'll go for smudges. I'll go for grains, tiny little.
Just see if you get it. Look, I got it.
Well, isn't that the other end of the complete spectrum, from full frame, colour edge to edge, to going, look at my smudge. My 1 pixel.
And that's a galaxy. Trust me.
Yeah.
Hey, I uploaded those photos onto the Facebook page. If you guys want to take it before and after.
Oh, quality. Thank you,
they're just up there.
Cool.
For me personally, I think it's a huge improvement.
Good.
Versus what I first started out with.
Well, it all looked a little bit scary, didn't it?
It did. Like, with those dust mites or whatever you want to call them, the dust poop or whatever, it was horrible, and I was freaking out. But that red solution, that first contact red solution, it did a lot of great work, as well as I had to use that. I purchased like a swab, the ASPC or the sensor swabs.
Right.
They're like kind of like Q-tips, but they're lint free. And I just sprayed a little bit of solution on there, cleaning solution on there, alcohol cleaning solution, and just nice and easy, because you got to be careful with these sensors.
Yeah.
And just nice and clean, and then it was almost night and day. So whatever's left on there is very minute, and the flats will calibrate that stuff out no problem. So
thank you. Right, happy ending. Happy ending. No one wants to send a camera back, do they? Especially not now.
No.
I know you're shopping at the moment, but even so, you don't want to be you don't want to be without.
No, especially for my one-shot color. I don't want to be, without, dealing with that. Being about my 294, if I don't have a 533 or a 2600, to go back to. So,
and anyone with a 294 without a quad band or a tri band is a loser.
Shameless. Utterly shameless. Utterly shameless. So I got the pics, and they actually look great.
Yeah.
Let me send it on over to the screen.
Yep.
And that's the before picture.
Yeah. Thank God that's the before.
That's the one with the toe print and the fingerprints and
that's his toe.
The dirt ball that he threw at his sensor and all that. so that's what that is. But take a look at, and this is a result of what is this?
This is called the First Contact. It's like a red polymer solution.
And here's a result. As you can see, I mean, holy cow! I mean, what a difference!
Better, isn't it? Yeah.
What a difference!
Yeah.
Excuse me. Did it introduce a blob at the bottom left?
Is that a new left? Blob? I think that's probably just something on the glass itself that I'll just clean up a little bit.
Gotcha.
But you know what? Compared to what it started out with,
I'm being fussy for you.
This is an incredible improvement.
Oh my God! It's like night and day.
It is. That little dust down there at the bottom left. Yep. I can clean that up with a flat. This and
these guys over here, and I see a couple other ones. But I mean, overall, what a super improvement.
Yeah, it is.
And how long did it take?
Better than chasing it with that.
Yeah. It had the little blower.
Chase it.
Yeah.
How long did the process take?
The entire process took close to an hour.
Okay.
Because I actually did the polymer. Could you do the polymer on the actual glass, not on the sensor itself, but on the glass?
On the glass outside,
right. Because I'm not going to put that stuff on the sensor.
No. Yeah.
But you put it on the glass and you let it rest for 25. I let it rest for like 25 minutes on both sides. It just peeled it right off, and I actually used nitrine gloves. Like the little examination gloves.
You were able to get them. That's good.
Yeah, so I put that on there. It was great, and then I just used the sensor swab with a little bit of, like I said, alcohol. Clean that. With at the 60-degree angle, you got to go nice and slow. And then I took a dry sensor swab, and then cleaned that up. With all of the residue, and there it was. Wow. So I would say about an hour and 20 for everything. So, and that's what I got.
And it wasn't too heart racing.
No,
compared with the scrubbing brush and the mop.
No, no, it was much better than I thought it would come out, and I was really nervous, especially cleaning the sensor itself. I was really nervous messing around, with that, because you're making you're doing that, and you have such an investment in this equipment.
You don't want to add poo to it, do you?
No, you don't want to add to it, so I was pleased.
Dennis actually emailed me a test image from his. I guess not only did he put his 14 edge up, he actually took an image.
Oh wow!
Already, isn't he prolific?
And
good man.
I mean,
and what are we seeing? Are we already? Should we all just pack up and go home already? And oh wow! Right.
And that's.
I'm sticking mine on eBay then. I think that's not retiring.
Yeah, that's. I was just gonna say I'm done. I'm gonna Dennis. You got it, man. It's all yours.
Yeah,
that is great stuff. Yeah, that looks great. That's awesome. Yeah,
cheers, isn't it? I think that's the territory we've been talking about. That's where I want to go in a few years, but I don't think it will be accompanied with a 14-inch whopper.
No.
I mean that's out of control.
Yeah.
Well, they're never cheap, are they? They're never cheap, and mounting and I suppose will an 8 take it? I suppose an 8 will take it, but I don't know. It'll collapse this side of the planet. England will sink if with a 14-inch telescope on it.
But you know, the one when I was thinking was, you know, we were talking about these RCs. Those RCs, especially nowadays, the 10-inch, it's pretty reasonable.
You like that, don't you? Yeah, I agree. And did you get a chance to look for the William Optics version, which is very, very shiny?
No, I didn't know.
Well, yeah, they I'm sure William had introduced last year, or is introducing, and I saw some pictures online. Yeah, open truss frame, carbon fibre, full frame.
Okay.
It had a red cap on it as a guide, little piggyback thing.
Nice.
Obviously, it looked minute. It looked like a pen light.
Sure. No, because I was looking at, because if you look at GS, I think it's GSO or Ioptron. I mean, you see, I think, not necessarily trying to give a plug, but High Point Scientific, and there's a few other companies that sell
if you like them, plug them, man. If you like them and believe in them, plug them.
Yeah.
It's not, we're not vendor specific, are we?
No, okay. we're definitely not. So.
But I love working with High Point, but they've got a inexpensive RC. I believe it's an 8-inch, and it's I don't know, maybe $400 or $500, or maybe I'm thinking of the 6-inch. But they are fantastic. When I'm seeing some of the results, some fantastic astrographs. And I think those RCs are actually built truly to be astrographs. Versus you can do visual, but they don't really recommend you doing visual with it. But as far as being an astrograph, it's supposed to be great. So
right, gotcha. Yeah, anything that's from the ground up astrograph is right up my street.
Yeah, and you know what? If that would, I would put maybe a 12. Up against those larger SCTs as far as for focal length and everything, because you really get a great narrow focal length, but the field view is so flat.
Right. That's what we're talking about, because I thought a poor man's option for galaxy hunting might be something like the Mach 180, which is a planetary telescope.
Yes,
isn't it? It's got the focal length, but it's slow.
Yeah, it is very slow.
Yeah. I mean, it's painfully slow. That's an old man on 2 sticks, isn't it? Going out for a bag of groceries. That's going to just. How long have you got slow?
Right.
So F10 is that too slow? Because we touched last week, did we not? When we spoke about putting a 1.5 times on, some people are barlowing for their galaxies, which obviously is going to halve the speed.
Power mates and stuff like that.
Still got it on my desk.
Is there? Right. Yeah.
There you go.
So there's no magic bullet with that, is there? It's still going to slow it. If you put a 2 times on it, you're going to halve the
still slow it down.
Yeah, you get a double F ratio. What depends
gotcha. Right.
So, like, I have my 127 Apex, my Orion.
Yes.
Which is a Mac at 1500 millimeters at f12 and a half. So,
if it was faster, then that would be perfect, wouldn't it?
Well, if you take your 2x this 2x, now you're at f25.
Yeah.
Now, and so now you're at, you really want to dim down those planets to get those subtle details. You know what I mean?
You do.
Yes.
You really want to dim it because you're going to blast out. You're going to have this nice, solid, moons of Saturn or Jupiter, and then you're going to blast out all of the planetary details if you don't slow it down a lot.
Yes.
And, I mean, again, and I am not by any means a planetary, photographer by any means. I get to kind of
but it is good. I've got to get back to that at some point. One of my things that I'd like to tick off is to get colour on a moon of Jupiter. So you got a little bit of colour or a little bit of definition of shade, because that blows me away. People who are able to get colour on the moon going around another planet. That's quite that's peachy.
It's Damien Peach. Yeah, it's
the thing is, I tried planetary when I first started getting into imaging. I tried with my 8SE. I tried planetary.
So hard.
I mean,
so
it's hard.
It's so hard.
It is, especially with an 8SE, where they're not really built to do imaging in the first place. They're more for visual and to really get you into the hobby of astronomy. But I was using an ASI 224 MC. But it came out, they came out, and I was using, I think, Registax. And I haven't gone back to it at all, but I was able to get Mars and I was able to get Saturn, but that was pretty much it. My limit was that as far as planetary and just doing that. But I was happy with it, for the first
bit of color on Mars, bit of deserts, bit of red, bit of Certis Major there.
It did. I got a nice shot of the polar cap.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
See, that's mad, isn't it? The polar caps on a planet.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
It was, and it was, to do it for the first time and just learning Registax and learning how to process it. I was happy because I ended up using SharpCap to capture it all, to do all the framing. Have you
tried FireCap with Planetary?
Okay.
Do you know what? I was just about to say that. FireCap, where's that? Is that still around?
It is still around. It's still, you got to kind of hunt for it on the SharpCap website, but it's still there.
Okay.
I have not used it. I was just wondering if anyone else had any experience
I've used FireCap
it's supposed to be built for Planetary.
Right, I found it crashy. Yeah, it was built for Planetary, and it sort of had little presets and this is for Moon, this is for Mars.
Right.
Didn't work. It didn't work, but hey, it was nice.
There's my answer, I guess.
it crashed a lot. Things like ASICAP. I'm going to get shot in the knee for that, aren't I? ASI cap.
ASICAP, come on. ASI cap, yeah.
Right, am I allowed that?
And it comes with all the ZWOs. It's a free download.
Yeah, sure. It's only for ZWOs, isn't it? You won't even see another camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, ASICAP. Yeah, no, I won't see another camera. Yeah, at all.
Let's see ASICAP. Why not Quai?
Just because of your pronunciation. There you go. That's all. Yeah, so I'll show you something that I took.
Okay.
Now, again, this picture came apart, since we're talking about Planetary, this picture came about, I had my 18-inch Obsession out in the backyard. Saturn was up.
Mm-hmm.
I never took anything. It's my Obsession had a servo cat on it, so it's an alt-as tracking system, pretty much. So it wasn't the best, and there's a lot of shadows on it, but this is a result of about 1,000 frames in an 18-inch Obsession over the course of, I think it's about 10 minutes of video, and the things were moving all over the place. So you'll see a little bit shadows on there, but this is what I got.
Okay. Oh. That's big for Saturn, isn't it? That's big.
Again, that's a fun. I've never done anything before with Planetary. It is a little bit out of focus. It is a little, there's a lot of other issues with it, but that was done with I think a T3i.
Oh yeah, I've got a T3i on my desk. Yeah, sure.
The T3i from Canon, the 18-inch Obsession they just slapped on there with a 2.5x Barlow.
Right.
And that's it, and the Servocat, and that's it.
Right.
And then I got one more that I just happened to take the same night, if I can find it. Where is it? It's on my Facebook page, so I don't know what the hell it is. Probably there it is. There you go.
Oh,
hello. At least I have my headset on. The dogs won't hear it. So, but that's a Jupiter. That's a Jupiter shot. And those are both with the 18 inches, about 10 minutes of video. So I mean, there's something to be said about a really super big light bucket for.
Oh, you're getting a big image, Normally in something like a Mach 127, that you're going to blow it up and it will pixelate a bit. We're talking tiny dots.
Yep.
You can't keep adding Barlows to stuff. There is no seeing that will sustain ridiculous amounts of bar loads on a 5-inch, very basic telescope. We're not talking premium glass. However, that little 5 is probably the best entry point into planetary, and it's actually a cracking little telescope. It's about $300, isn't it?
Yeah.
A Mach 127.
Okay.
On an Altaz, $300.
Because I know
I got mine used for like $200.
Yeah, because one of my first scopes, it was a Mac cast. And when I first started getting back into it before I got the 8SC, and I still have it downstairs. It's it's a Celestron Astro-Fi. It's an Astro-Fi Mac.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And that was the first, and it's kind of a smart camera and smart scope rather, because you can control it with your phone because it's all Wi-Fi. But it's a cute little entry camera for kids and for family, and that's when I first started getting back into the hobby again. So it's great for planetary and for moonshots.
Right,
nice
little outreach scope as well.
It is. It's a nice little. It's a cute little scope. It's only $300.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know what's good? The new series that they got out for outreach, that Explorer DX.
That Explorer series, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got I want to say it's either a 4.5 or almost 5-inch reflector, which is the main line for $339, $400, something like that. And the best thing about this is you take your camera, you take your phone, you put it on there. The camera looks at a mirror, and the mirror is pointed at the sky.
Yep.
And you just sit there, and you know what? If you can't see something, there's a tree in the way. You just move the whole telescope, move it over here, and then it plate solves everything again, and then you're good in about 5 minutes.
Awesome.
Does it really? Right.
Yeah. It's unbelievable for outreach.
Yeah.
If you're a big outreach person, there's nothing that's going to beat this thing. There's nothing that's going to beat this thing. The only thing that you can have an issue with is power for your cell phone, because if you're out there for a couple hours, you may have an issue. But I'm telling you, you sit there, you do that with, let's say, an XYZ, like the camera adapter. You put somebody in there for outreach. Now you got pictures of whatever you want, and everyone goes home with the picture.
There you go.
Yeah. Cool.
No,
Wonderful,
I like that.
Wonderful.
That would be cool.
The best part is if something's in the way, you move it. Yeah. You move it. I don't have to align anything. Wait, I don't have to align anything again. That's awesome. It's awesome.
And that was, that's a really cool thing about some of these new smaller scopes that have this Wi-Fi technology. Is that it makes things so easy for these kids nowadays, because they're so used to smartphones and these apps and everything. All they have to do is just set it up. You put your phone on there, run an app. All the kids nowadays know how to use an app.
Yep.
Cool.
And then you're up and running.
It would be pointless presenting them with anything else, wouldn't it? We've got manufacturers have got to change.
Yeah, they do.
We spoke last week. This stuff is it's still so crusty. A lot of it. I know a lot of it works. I mean, I'm not expecting. Is it the Losmandy people who make this mount that's been the same for 50 years?
Yeah.
Now they actually I saw.
It's not. You've got to move with the times. You got to move the times, and we got to get these kids involved in this.
Yeah.
Because guys like us, we're basically the dinosaurs.
Totally. We're extinct, mate. Absolutely.
I think that
we're going to be turning into fossil fuel here. So we need kids like I said, like my 10-year-old. To get them out there, and and other kids get out there, and introduce these kids to the work, the entire universe, instead of them they're always so wrapped up in electronics and into their phones. Let's use their phones for something useful, even more useful.
Right, totally. Right, lifting up from the fantasy world into that. Yeah.
I think that one of the unfortunate misconceptions of this wonderful hobby that we're in is the cost. To your point, Eric, I mean, it's like, you see people like us with these massive rigs on Facebook and all this cameras and stuff, and you're thinking we are spending quite a lot of money, 5 figures or more on these systems. It doesn't take all that to get into this hobby. It's like we were talking about the DX, and I think that's a great point that you made, Eric, regarding the influx of technology into the hobby, because the kids are all about technology and gaming and blah blah blah, and what can they do on Instagram and FaceTime and whatever they can do. If you can, you get a nice app where you can sit there and you can take a telescope out and it's gonna, hey, listen, it's gonna point you to what you want to see. All you gotta do is put your phone in there. There's no triangulation. There's no 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, all-star alignment. There's none of that. Exactly. You sit there and go, boop. 5 seconds later, you're good
pace
to go.
Of life is different. Their expectations are different.
They want instant gratification.
Yeah, totally.
That's exactly what it is.
So give it to them. We've got it. You know, to hold it back, it's like a mean old Scrooge going, no, you've got to spend 3 years learning the stars one by one.
Right.
You're drawing maps.
Wait. I've got a star chart around here, son. Let me grab that and we'll just roll it out on top of the kitchen table and we'll start plotting where we want to go and then we'll go outside.
Oh, man. He'll be so excited.
5 minutes, he's already gone. He's back downstairs playing video games or something like that. Yeah. And I'm still stuck at the kitchen table plotting things out.
You're at the kitchen. This is great. This is 2 a.m. still going.
Hey, son, Jax, where are you? Wait, Jax? Where'd you go?
So if you guys don't know, I actually do astronomy classes for people who buy telescopes and show them how to set up and do whatever and stuff like that on Long Island. And I had one guy that spent, I don't know, something like, he bought a brand new Evolution 8-inch setup, built-in Wi-Fi, built-in battery, spent about $3,000 on his setup. And I get to his house and he's got this antiquated star chart on the table and all this stuff. And I was like, well, how do I find this star and how do I put the coordinates in there and how do I figure out what exactly the coordinates are for this map? So I look at the map and I go like this and I roll it up into a ball and I throw it over and I pull out my cell phone. I go Star Safari and I go, there you go, it's right there. It tells you right there. So, don't worry about this. And I said, don't you have a hand controller? He's like, yeah. I said, it's all built in there. You don't need a map. If you want to do the map thing and you're old school like that, knock yourself out. But I'm telling you right now, not many people, to everybody's point, again, instant gratification is the way it is. You want to see the things now. I want to see it now, and I want to see it big, and I want to see it like Hubble, which ain't going to happen.
Exactly.
Which ain't going to happen, guys. It's not going to happen. Unless if you have an Elon Musk bank account, it's not going to happen.
So it'll happen for Dennis.
Yeah, Dennis will, with that 14-inch.
Oh, by the way, he put it up there. That's a 10-minute unguided exposure. By the way, that was.
What kind of mount does he have?
It's got a Paramount ME2.
Well, then that's why. He can do a 10-minute guided.
That's what it is. So
there you go.
Yeah, so he does it.
Well, I was having a good day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know what? I was happy with my, with my CGX doing basically pretty close to, I don't know, 2 minutes. 2 minutes unguided. And I think that's fantastic.
Yeah. I've got a Skywatcher.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different world, isn't it?
It
Absolutely
is.
different world.
When you can get from the CGX up to an astrophysics or a Paramount BISC or something like that, you've hit the big time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's about acquisition of good stuff.
Bye. Bye.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's an MX Plus, not an ME2. It's an MX Plus.
Oh, is that better? I don't know. That's better, isn't it?
What's that, like $500 less?
I think that's
no, it won't be. It's obvious, isn't it? That's better.
It's the middle portion on the line.
Yeah.
So
that's it. There you go. It's the middle portion. It doesn't matter. It's got the name. It's a Porsche.
Exactly.
When you own a Porsche, it's a Porsche, isn't it? If you don't own one, it's a Porsche.
It's a Porsche.
It's a Porsche.
Yeah, when you get the 911, it's a Porsche.
Totally. Yeah. You own it. You've got the key.
Yeah, they put that up there.
The guy had the accent on the E.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
The pride of it. Do you know what? This is a brilliant one, but I'm going to slide off. So I've got the time here, 7:41 in the evening. It's an early one for me, but I'm going to go and have Easter dinner in a minute.
Oh yeah, enjoy
you,
it.
you guys are great. That's why we need you, Eric, because I'm going to get a rest one night, and you're going to do it.
No problem.
And I'm going to watch you from the comfort of my bed at 2 a.m.
Finally, turning to sleep.
I can just watch things.
It's an hour.
Well, if you want to do another daytime show during, I mean, again, I got another week off, so
I really do. You know, this is a lovely room to be in. You know, this is very comfortable. My buddy's in the room. I got a little bit of, you know, I get a little bit of a buzz going on there with the Somerset cider. Talk to my friends. Do some Astro. It's a very good room for me. I like this.
Absolutely. And Eric, it's great having you on, brother. You know.
All right. Well, look, I'm going to say good night.
Yeah. And have a great night.
Happy Easter.
Yes.
And do you know what? I might tune back in when I'm having my tea. See you later.
Take it easy.
All right. See you later. Bye.
Eric, do you want to stay on, or it's up to you?
Oh, sure. I can stay on for a little while.
You want to stay on? I mean, that's up to you. You know.
No, go right ahead, bud. We can keep it rolling.
Chilling out, and let me just let me just set up a different shot so we don't have a big question mark on the screen anymore.
Sure.
Let's see. We can do this. Change audio. Change template. Change. I gotta get used to this. This is to B, and then Eric.
You got the big question mark.
Yeah.
Where's Tim?
Tim disappeared for a little bit.
Yeah.
That's all right.
No problem.
This is fun stuff. This stuff is crazy. Oh yeah, I got two of you.
Now, as far as what is it? I had the toughest time, you know, with I use ASIR.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And yesterday I was freaking out because I was actually doing all the cleaning, and it turned out that I was being a goof, and I was hooking everything back up, and it would not capture any images, do any test images. I was freaking out.
What happened?
Yeah. It turned out that I was being a goof, and I had the lid turned on the wrong way. And so I put it in there incorrectly, and then finally, you know, I was working with TJ for a bit, TJ Conley, you know, and I'm freaking out, and you know, he's like, "Oh no, that's not good news." So I said, "Yeah, this is not good." I was almost at the point of like, "All right, I cleaned the sensor, I did all of this stuff. Now I got to send it up to ZWL so they can fix it."
I mean, that's out of control because I'm still waiting on my ASIR Pro. It's still kind of in the, I guess, waiting period. I guess you know, just like everybody else is kind of waiting on things a little bit, and you know, I got 7 more coming in, I think. So.
Okay.
So, you know, that hopefully I'll get one of those if I
you get one of those. See if your name's on one of those, right?
Yeah. So, but you know what? I don't need it right now. I bought it because I guess I just wanted a new toy. But
sure.
You know,
that's the thing with this hobby. We always want the new toys. That's why I was looking at the.
So now
there it is.
A mini PC.
Mini PC. Yep.
I couldn't wait anymore on the ASIR Pro, so I bought this for the AZ GTI, and. And that's it. So I mean, this thing is great. It's got SGPI. It's got everything. It's a Windows 10 computer, just like, you know, the Eagle with the, you know, it just doesn't have the power, but
okay,
it works good for me for right now. So not.
Is it Wi-Fi enabled so you can run everything off of Wi-Fi, or is it cable, or is it okay?
Oh yeah, you can do both. You know, it's got the gigabit port in the back.
Okay.
But it's a built-in Wi-Fi. It's got HDMI out. It's got a USB-C charging. And 2 more USB 3.0s in the front.
Okay.
So
Now, help me understand, how do you do this? Because I'm so used to the ASI Air, and you're
sure.
just a little Raspberry Pi. So how does this actually hook up to the mount or to your OTA?
Okay, so it's basically the same thing. You got a USB hub here.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. So you're hooking
and
up
that's it.
everything, your guider, your cameras,
Everything.
everything up to that.
Yep.
Okay. So in your mount all up to that, and then you just have that on your rig.
Yeah. I'll Velcro it.
Okay. Okay.
You know,
Okay.
actually, this is not a good Velcro. It's a little bit. It's a little beefy. So
Okay.
you can either
But
have this
still,
on a table next to you or whatever, and that's it.
nice.
So you
And
hook up.
then what do you got running in there? You said you have SGP and APT.
I got SGP. No, APT's not on that one. I
Okay.
have a sequence generator, and I have Sharp Cap on there for my plate
Okay.
solving, for my polar lining. Um, and I think that's pretty much it that's on there. There's not much else on
Okay.
there.
All right, and then it
I
just
think I also
controls
use the
everything
Sharp
with
Cap.
SGP, or control everything via
Yeah,
ASCOM, all of your stuff.
that's it. Well, yeah,
So there you
obviously
go.
all the ASCOM drivers are on there, and all
Yeah.
the specified Windows drivers are on there, and all that other stuff that you need. But for the most part, I mean,
That's not a bad idea. If my ASI Air ever goes, if my ASI Air version 1, goes out, and my ASI Air Pro doesn't show up until
yeah,
sometime next year.
yeah. I'm telling you, I'm waiting on mine still, and I've been waiting. Again, I don't know if you saw on one of the last videos. I was like one of the first people to trade in my ASI Air regular for the $100
Okay.
off, and I'm still waiting on it. That's one of the bad things. I work at Camera Concepts, which is a
Mhm.
telescope distributor out on Long Island. One day a
Okay.
week. I
Nice.
work there one day a
One
week
day a
for
week. Hey,
1 day a week. So
that's all good.
I do that, and so I had nothing else to spend my money on. So I said, you know what, there you go.
Yeah.
Mark
But you know
wants
what?
to.
If you like build up some credit there, and,
Yeah,
and
I
there
don't
you
get a
go.
paycheck. I don't get a paycheck. I'd say, you know what, my wife loves it
Hmm.
because I don't spend any of my regular paycheck
There you go.
on telescope stuff. Um, I'll sit there and I'm like, well, basically, I got my credit. I was supposed to go to buy my sprinkler system in my house. So I said, just give me the money, and I took the money,
Yeah.
and I'm not spending a nickel on my sprinkler system because of that. So I mean, you know,
Hey,
it
we
took.
priorities. We have our priorities, and that's
I,
hey. Forget
I
the
need my
sprinkler. I
sprinklers.
need my mount.
Yeah, you know what, I bought the Eagle. I
Mhm.
bought the Esprit. I bought, and it's just working 1 day a week and doing some other stuff on the side. But I mean,
Hey,
most, hey,
hey, the wife's happy because you're not spending it. You're doing you're doing something you enjoy. You're helping out people, and you're not spending any of the real family money. Quote unquote family money. you
yeah,
know,
exactly. And
and
I'm not
then
taking
you're
away from
doing that thing.
time because I work there on Thursdays, so she's at work.
Okay.
So what am I gonna do? It's either
Yeah.
go work in the telescope store or get on my PlayStation 4 and play Fallen Order. so,
I'm all
so,
good. No, that makes
so,
sense. Now, one thing that I have been going back and forth with,
sure.
and I don't know because you've seen my post,
Yeah,
was
yeah.
I was going back and forth between the ASI 533 MC
Yep.
Pro
Yep.
and the 2600,
Yep.
the 2600 Pro. And I know that they basically have the same pixel size, but it's different resolution.
Yep.
So I've been getting a lot of different comments on through the through on Facebook about go for the 2600 or this that and the other, but the 2600 is 2 grand
Yeah.
versus the 533, which is like 900.
I'm actually just looking at the stats right now on both to see what the exact difference, why the difference is so much.
Yeah. Well, for one, I understand. You're getting it's a 16-bit versus a
Yep.
14-bit camera.
Yeah, that I saw right away.
And so that's going to be some big difference there. The pixel size is the same, but you're getting more resolution. So I think you're getting. I had it up for a while because I was actually looking at their ZWO's website, but the resolution's a bit better on the 2600, of course. But both of them, you don't have any amp glow.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you both don't have any amp
So
glow.
you have that.
Let's see. So you got 14-bit. The chip is a lot bigger.
Yeah, it is a lot bigger because you got like a 1 inch on the 533, but it's but it's like an APS-C on the 2600.
2600. Yep.
Yeah. So you're going to get a lot more. You're going to get a much wider view. But I'm just trying to decide. Who knows? Maybe I'll do the 533 now and get the 26. The 2600. Next year or whatever they come out, because ZWO has a tendency. They always come out with new stuff. Every year they got their new model. It's almost like a car dealership. You're buying a new car. There's always something new coming out every year, like the new market. But I think I'm thinking just because of the cost and everything, I might lean toward the 533. But it'll be great for Galaxy.
I think for the 533.
The 533 is 900.
Yeah, 900, 899. Yeah, 900.
Yeah.
So you're talking about another grand.
Yeah, you've got about another 1100 to get the 266.
Another grand for a bigger chip, same quantum efficiency.
Yeah, you do.
16-bit instead of 14-bit. Yep. Resolution obviously is a lot better.
It is. It is a lot better. I will say that.
That's what I think you're paying for, because everything else has got to be the same. The cooling's the same. The cooling type is the same. Bigger chip, better resolution. I mean, that's what you're getting with that. I mean, you get what you pay for. I mean, don't get me wrong. The 533 is an awesome camera. 533 is an awesome camera. I mean, it really is. And
I mean, it would be great especially for when you're doing galaxies.
Sure.
Because you have that. Because you have a narrower. Because you have a smaller chip. You have a more narrower and more focused field of view.
Yeah, and also if I was looking at the frames per second on there, and the 533 runs at max 20, which isn't great for anything.
Right.
But it's better than, I think, 3.5 on the 2600. so you're not getting planetary on the 2600.
No. Oh, no, you're not
getting planetary.
This is straight deep sky. This isn't planetary or anything like that. And if I got into planetary, because I know there's quite a few people that I'm friends with on Facebook that do planetary, but I think the ideal for planetary is like, what was it, like the 174? That ASI 174
is good.
Like that.
The 224 is good. The 290 is good. They both run at really super high frames per second, up to about 60, I think, if I remember right. And so that's I heard the 224 is really, really. I have the 290 that I've been trying to get to use for planetary, but it's been sitting on my desk for months. But eventually, what I want to do is get that running on the Mac. And run that for planetary and see what it's all about. 290 seems to be good. 220. There's a lot of forums on cloudy nights and what's the other one? Astro. I forget what the other one was. I'm drawing a blank. But there's another forum that go back and forth between the 224 and the 290 as far as planetary is concerned.
Now I've got the 224. That's the one I do have, and that was one of my first that I did get, and that's the one I used with my 8SC when I was doing a little bit of planetary. But basically, I'm using it now as a guide scope more than anything else. But if I ever do get back to planetary and lunar, I would like to try that. But I did actually just get a solar filter for the 8SE. Okay. So maybe because I've always been intrigued because I've seen Chuck Ayub and he's done some great shots, for solar. So I was like, you know what? I've got this 224. Let me just and he's using the same thing, and he's got an 8SE, and he's doing solar off of that 220 off of that 8SE. I think he's using a 224, and they come out awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? If he can do it,
You know, again, it's white light. It's white light. You know, you're gonna get the sunspots. You know, you're gonna get that kind of stuff. You know, I saw, what was it? The one that H Alpha one he did with the streamer that came across and over, and you know that's like crazy. He does some crazy stuff, man.
He does, man. He does.
It's out of control.
It is. And there was another one that I was actually thinking about, but it's like I said, it's been raining here in Illinois, at least up in my area. I was looking, and you go, I got to munch on something here.
I gotta eat something.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. But I was looking at Atlas.
Okay.
I wanted to grab Atlas, but I don't know what the status of Atlas is right now. I don't know if it's broken up, if it's still out there, if it's still together, or if it's broken apart yet. But I might give it a shot because I think I'm supposed to get some clear nights either Tuesday or Wednesday. So I'll have to check. Let's see here. It's I use, what is it? It's like Clear Outside.
Yep.
And let's take a quick look here on Clear Outside, which I think is a great app. Okay, so Monday looks supposed to look good. Monday looks good. Tuesday looks good. So maybe I'll break the Rasa outside.
Yeah,
and
as of the 8th, it's still out there. I'm seeing pictures.
Yeah.
But everyone's saying it's going to be disintegrating. It's somewhere. Let's see. Was it in Leo? I guess it looks like.
Okay, let me get. I'll tell you just a sec, because I use Sky Safari, and it tells me there. So let me pull up Sky Safari here, and let me bring up Atlas. Oh, there we are now, and let me zoom out. No, it's actually in not too far from Capella.
Okay.
What is? Yeah, what's that? What is that? It's in the Camel. Right now.
Camelo Pardalis or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it now. I was looking at the wrong date. Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
So right now, was it April? Yeah, it's right outside of Lynx.
Yep.
Yeah, right in between the two of them, heading towards Capella.
Yep, heading towards Capella. So I want to see if I can get to it before it gets blown out a bit by Capella, because Capella is so bright.
Yeah,
Then I can then maybe I'll try to do that tomorrow or Tuesday. And with the Rasa, I love it because I can knock it out and get some great shots within all day. I can do 30-second, 1-minute shots, and that's such a great light bucket. I can do that for like an hour or two, and then I'm done.
I wish. I spent what? Remember what you said? You said something that was a silly thing that you did. I'll tell you my silly story. What I did last night. I was playing around with APT because I've never used it before. So I said, "Oh, cool! It's got a flats calibrator. So kind of Sequence Generator Pro does. So it'll go through your filters and do your flats and kind of figure out the exposure based on the luminosity of your flat panel. Fine.
Right.
I go outside, I throw my flat panel on, I come back inside, and I start playing around, whatever. I said, all right, cool, I got all my flats, I'm ready to go. I'm all set for later. I'll do them.
Yeah.
Cool. So I come back inside. I'm like, man, it's still dark out. It's getting dark out. I got a polar line. What's going on? So I go to my screen. I go to and I was like, but there's no stars. There's no stars on my screen. So I'm sitting there. I'm playing with the gain and I'm playing with the exposure and I'm doing this, making sure everything's connected. What the hell's going on? It's the same. Why is it still dark? I left a flat panel on my telescope. so
I knew it had to be something like that.
After a half an hour, I go outside. I'm like, God damn it! So I spent a half an hour trying to get polar aligned and.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
It's just one of those things. We all go through it. It's just like those. What was I thinking?
Yep.
The type of those moments. It's like you like, and we all feel like boneheads every once in a while when you're doing some of this stuff. It's just one of those things, man. We all roll through it. Trust me. I still feel like I'm just like, I just shake my head like, Eric, what were you thinking? What you've got to be better.
I'm sorry. I like there are times where you sit there and I was gonna bring out my 18-inch for whatever reason, something was out, I
Mhm.
forget what it was. So we were gonna go to the beach and go to a semi better darker sky than it is anywhere else on Long Island, and
Yeah.
so I go and I get everything set up, and I forgot my tubes for the truss. So I had the upper cage, I had the bottom, and I'm sitting there. I got no tubes, so I couldn't
Yeah,
do
no
anything.
news.
So,
So you gotta go back
so
and get them or something.
no, I didn't. I'm at the beach. What am I gonna do? I'm not gonna go drive all the way
Yeah.
back and leave my
Go back.
friend in this random parking lot, dark at the beach, and he's by
Right.
himself and he's in a wheelchair. I'm not gonna do that.
Oh no, yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
What is the darkest? Okay, so you're on Long Island, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the darkest areas that you can find? Because like right now, you're like what, a portal 8?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so where do you usually go? When you can get a chance to go to a dark site, where do you usually go? Where's your darkest areas that you can usually go within, say, a couple hours drive
Oh,
or
a
something?
couple hours. I could go to Montauk.
Okay.
Which is all the way out at the end of the island, all the way out into the Atlantic Ocean, pretty much.
Okay.
Although that is a 3-hour drive.
Okay.
So that being said, do you really want to drive from 2 to 5 after imaging all night and cut your imaging short and drive your butt home for 3 hours? I don't think that's. If I'm going to drive 3 hours, I'm going to go upstate.
Okay.
So
Okay.
and that's definitely probably a 2 magnitude difference going upstate, maybe even 3.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
good.
so going up to my aunt's house up in Wyndham, New York, up by the ski trails. Up
Okay.
there. So that's really. I've never measured it up there,
Okay.
but I think it's about a Bortle 4.
No, that's really nice.
So
That's
maybe a
better
5.
than me. Okay.
Maybe a 5. It's probably similar to you.
But that's going to be a big difference from what you've got right now.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. I mean, so my normal go to, even though it's not best, is Robert Moses Beach,
Okay.
which for the south, it's outstanding because you're looking over the ocean.
Okay.
North, not so much, because you got to look over Long Island to get to Connecticut and that kind of stuff. So you can look over Long Island Sound, and so it's okay in the north, but it's definitely better for the south. So if I'm shooting south, I go to Robert Moses. If I'm shooting north, I go to a place called Sunken Meadow, which is on the North Shore, so I don't have to look
Okay.
through Long Island. There is another place out east, which is about less than an hour, about an hour drive, let's say, 1 hour.
Okay.
Which is, let's see, so I'm at SQM, I'm at about a 17.8 at my house.
Okay. Wow. That's
there is about an 18.9.
okay.
So
Better.
yeah, it's a little better, but the thing that's good about it is there's a tree line, so it blocks the city glow from
Okay.
around.
Yeah.
Even though who's imaging from 20 degrees and below anyway, nobody is.
Yeah. Nobody.
So and if you are, good luck.
Yeah.
but the trees aren't a big deal, but it blocks also any cars, lights from houses, any stray light from the sides. It's really, really good. And that's about an hour drive. So that I go when I go with somebody else, which isn't bad. Yeah.
No, it's not bad. Yeah, right now I'm kind of lucked out. Even just from my backyard, because like I say, we live in the rural suburbs. About an hour and a half, I would say, west of Chicago. Okay. Closer towards we're near a town called Rockford. It's kind of a city called Rockford, but we're near not too far from the state line of Wisconsin. So we're in like a border 5.
Okay.
But my area, the where I live, kind of lucked out because my backyard faces north, so
Okay.
I can see all of it. And most of my houses around me, I'm in one of the few two-story houses. Everybody else is in a ranch.
Okay. There you go.
So I've got to clear out, and then we've got some pretty good because I can see everything as far as in the south. I'm waiting. I cannot wait until we can finally get Scorpio back
Okay.
in, so I can go after. I want to go after, like, say, the blue horse head,
For sure. Yeah,
and
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
Roe Wolfie, and I mean, of course, the lagoon and and M20. Everything is right there, so it's not a problem, and I've got plenty of time to grab those. But I really want to get a chance to go even a little bit lower. You know what I mean? And a bit as far as the Bortle scale, a little bit higher in that sky magnitude. If I can get into like a 20 or 21, then just to see what's it like out there, and that's probably maybe a good hour out, maybe an hour out, and then further out in here, and I can do better.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Actually, I got. Let's see. Do I have? I got a little bit of a shot of M4. If I could find it, I don't even know where the hell. There it is. M4 and RHO, and I can't. Of course, I can't find it. But I started it last summer,
Okay.
and I'm looking to get a little bit more out of it. If I find it, I'll throw it up there and I'll show it to you. But
Okay.
it's coming out pretty decent. I definitely need some more data to bring out that gold kind of hue that it has over by what is that, Antares
Yeah.
over there. Yeah, so we shall see what we
Okay.
shall see. But that's definitely a good project to do.
Yeah. Now, when you start planning for your projects, what do you usually use? Do you use like when you started to decide on where you? How do you decide yourself on what you're gonna go after? Like on a given night, or do you start making? Or do you have a list? Because for me, I started creating a list.
Yep.
Okay, this is the time of the season, this is the time of the year, and maybe, and then I'll put something in like a notepad or something like that, and I'll start jotting down. Okay, yeah, this is the time for like M8 and M20 and and Scorpio and stuff like that. But what do you usually do? How do you start making your own decisions as far as which one to target?
Well, what I've been doing is I've been making quarterly lists.
Okay.
So like every 3 months. So I'll do first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter.
Hmm.
And then what I do is I put it in Sky Tools.
Okay.
So if you don't know do you know what Sky Tools is? Because a lot of people don't
No,
use it.
I don't. No. What is that?
So Sky Tools has been around a lot for visual, and they just
Okay.
recently, within the last year or year and a half, came out with Sky Tools for imaging.
Okay.
And what it'll do is you're able to make a list, you're able to make a process, and what you can do is you can actually dump your photos into it, and it'll keep a running total of how much data you've acquired,
Okay.
and what your signal to noise ratio is based on whatever target you put in there.
Okay.
So if you say, let's see if I could bring it up. I don't know if I can bring it up here.
This is called Sky Tools.
Yeah, Sky Tools 4.
Okay.
And that's the setup. No, I don't have it on this computer. It's on my other computer inside. Yes, I want to quit. So you can take all the pictures that you've dumped into your project. You make a project. So let's say you do M4.
Yeah.
You set up certain criteria that you want. What's either a signal. You can set it as a signal to noise ratio based on your chip and your setup.
Hmm.
Or you can set it up as exposure time if you want a time limit on each filter or channel.
Okay.
And what it'll do is you'll sit there and you'll take your folder and you'll dump that folder into Sky Tools under that project. It'll add up
Hmm.
everything from the FITS headers,
Okay.
and it'll start making a running total of how much data that you have, and it'll give you a percentage bar on how far you are for each channel. So
Gotta
that's
check
actually
this
kind of cool. It also has a full it's trying to be kind of like Sequence Generator Pro.
Okay.
It's not there yet. He's been doing a good job. He got I've been a purchaser of SkyTools since SkyTools 1 back, I want to say in the 80s somewhere.
Okay.
And I used that a lot when I was doing a lot of visual because it had a nice log system where you could log in your observations. And now what he came in with SkyTools 4 for visual for imaging, and there is a framing and mosaic. There is a telescope control, real time telescope control, focuser control. It's got everything, but it's just not as user friendly as let's say an APT or. I don't even know if I would put SGP in as user friendly, but I mean APT is very kind of easy to get. It's hard to get lost with APT.
Yeah.
With
now I have SGP. I first started out with when I first started getting into this. I have I still have it, a Canon T3.
Yep.
Okay, it's not the T3i. It's just the T3. It's the I guess you can call it like the 1100D, and it was my Celestron 8SE, but then I started graduating up, but it was great for just that getting started because I think one of my first shots, I think I told you before, was the Whirlpool. Another one was the Owl. The Owl Nebula.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was and when I saw those, it got me hooked. After I got that first light of M51 and I showed it to my wife, she's like, "Yeah, you're done. I'm not gonna see you in the house for a while. You're gonna be out in the backyard doing this stuff, aren't you?" And I said, "Yeah."
Now that everything's like wireless now, my wife loves it because what we do is I set up and I got the computer on the left and we're watching TV over here.
That's true now.
So it's different.
It is different, because I used to have it where, I would have, eventually when I went from backyard EOS, then I ended up going to SGP, and I did SGP for a while, and but I wasn't there yet because I didn't have an autofocuser. It was just very basic sequencing, and just with and I had a one-shot color. I had a 180. I ended up buying my first camera, and it was a 183 MC.
Okay, nice camera.
It's a nice camera.
Yeah.
It's a nice, crazy amp glow though.
Yeah,
it's a hell of a lot of amp glow. And the first time I ever saw it, and I ended up doing, I think it was it was a 3-minute shot, and I ended up looking at one of the first lights, and I was like, "What in the world? Is there a star here on the right side?"
Yeah. Yeah,
and I had no idea what amp glow was or anything like that, and I started freaking out, and it kept doing it over and over and over, and I was like, I thought it was getting really bad. I thought something's not right here, and then I started posting on Facebook and saying, "Oh no, that's amp glow."
Oh yeah, that's normal. Don't worry about it. You're fine.
Don't worry about it. You're fine. You're fine. It'll calibrate out with the darks. And I'm like, what in the world is amp glow?
It's bad, man. It's bad.
It is.
It is. I got amp glow all on the left side on my SBIG.
Okay.
And
but is that a CCD?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But okay, because that was one of my other questions. Is it as bad? I heard amp glow isn't as bad on the CCD as it is on the CMOS.
It isn't. You get this big, bright, kind of like it looks like a star that's just out of the range of the chip on a CMOS. You get this little like bright section. With the amp glow, at least with mine, I get a little bit, but it's all on the left side. Up and down the entire frame.
It's on this side. Okay, so it's not just in one particular spot. It's just completely on the left side.
Correct.
Of your frame. Okay.
Like if I was cropping the left side a little bit out.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what it looks like. I wish I had a.
Okay.
I'm sure I have a crappy shot somewhere.
But so when I got that 183 and I started, so I figured out amp glow, and then I started using SGP. And it was just basically just very basic sequencing. I ran my PhD, and then it's like, oh great, I can see PhD 2 from SGP, so I can keep track of that.
Yeah,
and then but I didn't have an autofocus or anything like that, and it was just my 8SC. And then eventually that's when I said, you know what? As I started learning more and more and more about refractors and how refractors are so much better, for imaging, at least especially when you're getting started, they were like, yeah, you need to get a small refractor, and then, it'll be so much different. And that's when I ended up getting the GT71, the first one. My first refractor was the GT71, the William Optics. and, and that's it. And it was really nice. And it made a total game changer for my imaging, because then I went after M42 for the first time.
Okay.
And then when I got that first M42, and I was using SGP, and then I was using for post processing Deep Sky Stacker and Star Tools.
Okay.
And then when I got Star Tools, it's easier than I thought it would have been. I was really intimidated, but it turned out that, everything, just going off of YouTube videos, it turned out, looking really nice, and ended up getting M42 and M45. And it turned out really good. I'll have to share some of those, my first images on my AstroBin site when I have a chance sometime.
Yeah,
but, for a new guy that had really hardly any experience, and to do what I did, I was floored. And then I was like, all right, that's it. I got to keep going with this type of stuff. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, Amp Glow is something that I think is. That's why I really wanted to look at that 533 and that 2600, because it was like no Amp Glow. I was like, game changer.
Absolutely. I mean, it's really interesting when you don't have to sit there and worry about, you just do some, I guess, some dark flats, and then that's it, and you're done. No bias is needed, so I mean, you don't have to worry about it. So
yeah, and I'd be really curious to see, because how other people, because I have seen a couple of pictures. I know I've seen TJs of the 2600. I think I've seen one or two of a 533. Some other folks who are using a 533. But I'd really like to get to get that comparison, because, like I said, I still might end up going with a 533 just because of the cost. And then maybe, later on I'll go and get the 2600, unless they come out with something better, because, like I said, these companies constantly come out every year with something new.
Yeah, exactly. What's new today is old tomorrow. I mean, it's just it's just amazing how the technology just keeps on going and going and going and going.
Yep.
And it's really, really interesting. We live in an interesting time on a number of reasons, but it's really, really kind of cool.
And right now, another one was with William Optics. They've come out with so many new white Red Cats and Percivals. Or Petzl, APOs, the Petzl APOs. I've even, when I had a chat, not earlier this year, or I think early this year, or like late last year, they were talking about they're going to bring out more Petzl APOs, like say a 71 and a 91 millimeter.
Wow,
that they've got in the works.
That's gonna be awesome.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what I'm not probably end up getting them, but never say never, because I mean, if I ever run into William Yang and he says, "Hey, I've got a new kit that you might like," I might just say, "Okay."
Absolutely. That's gonna be.
How can I refuse?
No, absolutely not. Yeah, you gotta get it. You gotta get it. It's one of those things you just have to have.
Yeah.
I've actually found this picture, and I lost it again.
Okay.
Gosh darn it.
Let's see.
Why is it coming up? Oh, that's why.
Is there anybody else on right now? I was kind of curious.
We got 11 people still watching.
Okay. Anybody got any questions?
Mark Ellis is on. I don't know.
Oh, hey, Mark.
Bill Brown is on. Chris, I can't pronounce the last name. Fierskin. And let's see. So you're an APT user, right?
I have used it, and a few times I'm not great at it. I have used it a few times. But like I said, now I'm more of ASI Air, and I'm using everything for ASI Air. So, which is kind of nice because I don't have to worry about that PC, at least for right now. But, who knows? Things always change.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out. I had a weird issue last night where, for whatever reason, I was shooting M101 and it was drifting directly down throughout the course of the night.
Well, it wasn't tracking, was it?
No, the stars were perfect.
Okay.
I mean, my tracking numbers, my guiding numbers weren't as great as what I'm usually pretty good with my guiding.
Okay.
And I mean, I was guiding even after recalibration. I was I want to say about a 0.7, 0.8.
That's still good.
It's still good.
It's good. It's still good.
Literally, dude, I had it until I started messing with things. I had it down to like 0.4. So
now you're cooking with gas if you're getting it down under sub 5.
I was taking 40-minute exposures just to see if I could do it.
So, you know what? I have seen so many people doing these super long exposures, and it's like, because I'm not used to it. I'm used to doing 5-minute or less.
Yep, me too.
But you see some of these incredible shots of people doing 30-minute exposures or 40-minute exposures, and it's like, how is that possible? And then I'm looking at some of these are using ASI, a ZWO or some sort of CMOS camera, and I'm like, what is your gain? Are you using like a zero gain and, you're doing straight high dynamic range? I mean, how are you not getting any amp glow, or is the amp glow, are you really doing really well that you are able to calibrate, that amp glow out so well that you're not, how are you doing this? And because I get so flustered sometimes with me doing, a 5-minute shot, and I think I'm doing just fine, but my amp glow is, looking like obscene. But you see other people and they're using 30-minute shots and they ended up getting, picture of the day out of Astrobin or something.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes I'm sitting there and watching these guys do this stuff and they just come out with pictures out of nowhere, and I'm like, holy cow, how are you doing this? Because I'm sitting there and I'm like, what is going on? Because I'm putting hours and hours and hours of work into this, and, and you guys are coming out with these things like every other day.
Yeah. And now I'm seeing here, I think Chris just mentioned narrow band. You need to do long exposures. Okay. Yeah. But how long is long?
Yeah. Well, it really depends. You know how it is, man. It all depends on your system and what you got rolling on your system. I mean, do you have, do you have a RASA that you're working on, and your HA is only going to be 2 minutes as opposed to 20 online? Right.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
and that was one of the reasons why I ended up getting a RASA, because I was so used to, all right, I'm used to doing short exposure, like sub 5-minute exposure. So I was like, the RASA's perfect.
Mark said the longest exposure I have done was 10 minutes sub with HA. 10-minute sub is, again, there's always this kind of thing that, it's like a Coke and Pepsi kind of conversation. I like to call it a Coke and Pepsi, or a Dorito and Bravo type conversation, where you're sitting there and saying, hey, is there more of a benefit doing a lot, 1,000 times shorter exposures, or less longer exposures? There's the noise conversation. There's plenty of other there's pros and cons to both.
Right.
But it really depends on, at the end of the day, how do you like your picture? Don't talk to me. Don't talk to Eric. Don't talk to anybody. We'll give you your opinion on what it is, but still, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. It says how you feel about it. How do you like it? Because art is, it's in beauty. It's all in the eye of the beholder. It's how good do you feel about how well you've done?
exactly. And like actually, I actually found the picture that I've been trying to show you of M4.
Okay.
Now again, this is a work in progress. Oh, everything of
Sure.
mine. I think everything of ours is a work in progress, no matter if it's finished or not.
Exactly. I'm never completely done with anything.
So let's see if I can get this over there. There you go. Okay, so again, M4 here. You got Antares with the glow here again. So that's something I've been working on. That's the 80. That's the 80, and again, that's part of it. That's not as wide as you want that nice blue, purple. That's done with either a 50 millimeter scope or a mosaic. In other words, so. But I would love to get the 4 pieces and have that nice different colors, but that's that I was started working on, and that's not a lot of data if I remember right. I want to say it's only about 3 nights worth of data, so maybe like 8 or 9 hours, maybe. So I got flaring on Antares. I overdid it a little bit on this one, but I over saturated the blues. So. A little bit of dust. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I thought you saw that. You also got the second. Globular over here. And so, again, all work in progress. It's getting there. This year I hope to finish it. Yeah, probably a 4-panel. Yeah, and again, I'm not going to... I would do that with SGP. I wouldn't even try and mess with that with APT. I wouldn't even know how to do it because I don't think it can. I don't think it can, actually. But... Yeah. All you do is draw your thing and put your it knows your chip size, so it does whatever percentage overlay that you want. And so if you do like 10, 15, 20% overlay, and then you I think the default is about 10%, 10 to 15%. But I've never done one. I was gonna start doing a 2-panel on the witch's head, and then it went behind a tree, so then I was done. So yeah, exactly. So I'm a big Dungeons and Dragons player. So my plan is I'm gonna have the Dungeons and Dragons of the sky. So it'll be a picture of like 9 or 10 different pictures. So we'll have, but they're all based on Dungeons and Dragons. So you'll have Thor's helmet. You'll have what else? You have the Medusa Nebula if I could get it, from somewhere else. I may have to borrow a telescope for that. Other things around the Wizard Nebula, stuff like that. Everything fantasy kind of. The witch's head also would be in there, So it's just something I've been playing around with. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
Wizard. It was something I had to go right after.
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of nice that it's facing the north for me. I believe it's north, so as long as it doesn't get below that 20-degree mark, and it's usually
right.
above that, it's almost nice that I can get it almost year round.
Yeah. I mean, but with the Wizard, depending on how much data you put on it, it stops looking like a wizard. it just all of a sudden it's like, what is this? It's like the Swan Nebula or Omega Nebula, whichever you want to call it. The Swan Nebula, if you're looking at it, it looks like a swan. You start doing photography on it, now it's F-17 because it looks nothing like a swan anymore. It's this big white gas thing. It looks nothing like it. So you got, it all depends on how much once you put so much time into it, it starts losing that visual shape, and you start seeing what it actually really looks like.
Now, since we're in Galaxy season, I know you said you're working, you got that work on. Is there another? You're doing M101. Is that the one you're really focused on as far as for your Galaxy, at least for right now, or are there other galaxies you're going after?
Well, I'll be doing that, and I'll be continuing. I have another project that I started last spring, Markarian's Chain.
Okay, in Virgo.
So
yes,
I have a lot of data on that already. I want to get a little bit more, and that's really it. M101 because it's big for my scope.
Yeah.
It's big. There's really maybe a handful, it's literally like 5 galaxies maybe that you really would want to shoot with an 80 millimeter. I would think. Not much more than that. I mean, once you get into that, you're getting into galaxy clusters.
Yes.
Like the Virgo cluster.
Now, the M33 is a pretty good sized one as well.
Yeah, Triangulum. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's another good one.
That's a good one for an 80.
Andromeda is good for the 80. M33, M51. You're getting into the small area. Even though
you can go after the triplet.
You go, what is that, 65, 66?
65, 66, and then there's the hamburger.
NGC, right? Yeah, NGC something. So I have a picture of that with the. I want to say a 127. I think when I had the 127. I think. I don't know. It wasn't that good. I'm not even gonna show that one. It was okay for what it was.
Yeah,
it was decent. That'll be like on one of those things where you ever see this? This is what a crappy photo looks like. This is one of my first photos.
Yeah.
And then this is where I'm at now. So.
Now with my 126, I did grab the Leo, but another one that's right there, really close by. There's 2 that aren't too far. The Needle.
Yep.
It's right not there, and the sombrero isn't too far behind.
Yeah, the sombrero's good. Yeah, that'd be good. It's got the nice little dust line there.
Yeah. So those might be some other ones that I might go after there. But I think I might want to put some more data. I might even take a look at getting some H alpha on the triplet, just to see how it looks, and then add that into the RGB.
Why not?
What else can you do? And that's the great thing I love about this thing. It's you can do all this experimenting. You just see what works, and then you can figure out, okay, that was great, or no, that one sucks. I'm not showing that one anymore.
It was an A for effort, but
it was a great thought, but no, don't try that one again.
History Explorer, delete. But Chris once said no, 80 millimeter, and what camera?
What camera? Yeah.
Let's see. For me, I'm using the STF 8300 from SBig.
Okay.
A lot of people using either ASI 1600s, which is pretty close to the same size sensor. Which is nice, but you can with an 80 millimeter. The thing with the 80 millimeter, and the reason why I went backwards is just to get that field of view. That's the only reason why I went backwards. I actually sold my 127 Explorer to get the 80 Esprit.
Okay.
And I'm happier with the wider field, but now I'm itching to go back again to get the smaller Galaxy. So I'm like, why did I sell the 127? I should just, but, because you go from a 400 millimeter to what is it, 920 whatever or 930 whatever on the 127. You're doubling your focal length, and you're getting 101 now. It not only is not this big, it's now this big.
That's big.
And, it makes a big difference, and you can actually start seeing M51 becomes a decent target at that point,
right?
And even the smaller galaxies become more decent targets. So if you want, like, go ahead.
What was it? No, one thing I was going to say was with the 126 and the 127s, like you're talking about, because I have the 126, is one thing I am learning is that because they are, like an F7 and whatnot, I have to, I guess, expose a lot longer than what I was used to with like even the Rasa, or when I had my GT71 with the flattener reducer, it was at a 336 millimeter. You know, so I was used to doing a couple, 1 minute, 2 minute, even 3 minute exposures. Sure. But now I have to start getting used to and start putting in the back of my head that when I, the bigger the scope, the longer the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why with the 127, I also had a reducer. I had the 0.8 Williams Optics, a 682.
Okay.
And I had that on there. I love that flattener reducer. You could tweak that thing, and it's adjustable, which is awesome.
Yeah, it is adjustable. I have one because I have it with the GT71, and it turns out you can use it with the Z26. Sure, the Z126. Yeah. You just adjust it, so it's great. But I haven't used it yet. I just decided I'm gonna take it out of the GT71 and put it into the 126 and give it a shot. So I haven't had a chance to take it out yet. I haven't had a first flight with the 126 with the reducer on it. So maybe that's one thing I'll do pretty soon after I, this weekend or this week, like I said, I'm going to plan on going after Atlas with the Rasa or what's left of Atlas, and go get that. And then
might be a cool picture.
yeah. Maybe I'll get it when it's actually breaking up, and I say, "Oh, it's not just one big; it's like 3." But now that I have to start thinking about these things more and more about when you're new to these, I was just so used to those short time frame, those short exposures, and I went after M33, and I was using the 126 for the first time because I got the 126 last year, and one of my first targets was M33, and it's not something I was happy with because I was only doing, because I was so used to doing 2 minute, 3 minute exposures. But I don't think I get as much detail as if I would have did like a 5 minute, 7 minute exposure.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things, when you're new to this, you have to learn so much more for.
Yeah, absolutely. It all depends on you. It really all depends on your camera too. You're looking at a whole bunch of other factors, including, well depth. If you got anti-blooming or not anti-blooming, if you're going to be undersampling, oversampling, there's so much other stuff to kind of consider when you're taking your exposure time. It's really a trial and error type thing, I would think.
Yeah, and one of the cool things, like I said, I mentioned last week, was that SharpCap Pro, that smart histogram.
Yep.
And the sensor analysis.
The sensor analysis, it's absolutely awesome.
It's great because it does help you out so much, but I have to maybe reach out to Robin Glover and ask him a couple more questions on that, because I just want to make sure what I'm looking at, because it says, because you can adjust to say, if you're going to do a 5 minute or 7 minute exposure, then it just tells you, instead of doing 30, now all you have to do is 12.
Yeah. To get to whatever.
To get to that whatever you need, because anything beyond that, you're not necessarily getting the return that you're expecting, so I have to understand that theory a little bit, and it's going to be interesting, because I want to try, because I have to do a sensor analysis with the 126 and the 294.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to go ahead. So I'm gonna have to go out and do that, and then that's one of the few times where I'm actually hooking up the laptop to the cameras and everything, is when I'm using SharpCap, because anything else, I'm using the ASI Air, and then it's all wireless. But I'm gonna have to try that out, because I'm looking forward to it, to just get that idea of the gain, the right exposure time, and then put it into practice and say, all right, I'm going to go after, the needle or the sombrero, or maybe another one, like maybe go after M33 again, and just seeing how it is with a longer exposure and say, that makes more sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. You got a question on here. And since you're the Williams Optics guy, GT102 or Z103, looking for a mid-size refractor, but it's $1,000 difference.
Let me show here. I mean, because I was actually looking at William Optics' website not too long ago. So let me pull it back up.
Mark said he has a Star Arizona Apex ED .65 reducer. Use it with the Esprit, but need to get an adapter to use it with the 120. Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. Depending on your barrel size, you're going to need an adapter to fit your flatteners on there. He also says Sharp Cap Pro for images. I thought it was only for planetary. No, you could actually use Sharp Cap for images.
No.
What's that?
No, keep going. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sharp Cap for images. You can planetary. We were speaking about before. Fire Cap supposedly is good for it, but then again, I was shot down immediately. So, you could use Sharp Cap for both because it does take live view, and you could do the live stack on the fly. And on top of that, there's a little checkbox in the live stack routine. It says save all images separately. Check mark that box, and it will save those for future stacking in PixInsight or whatever you want to do. Okay. But I think you have an answer.
Yeah. So now, So going back as far as with Chris was asking, the GT or the Zenithstar. Now the Zenithstar is a doublet.
Okay.
So and the Gran Turismo is a triplet. So you're paying for that extra glass. Now, with me looking at my GT71. And now I'm looking at my Z Star 126. I can actually see a big difference in the clarity and the crispness of the picture.
So you get a lot more chromatic aberration in the 126.
Yes, yeah, I think so. Yeah. So if I could go back, I would probably stick. If I had the money, I would probably stick with the Gran Turismo series, but for that extra glass. And so that would be me, but it depends on what your budget is the big thing. That's always the biggest thing is what's your budget. William Optics period makes some fantastic, pieces make some fantastic OTAs, and I wouldn't say disparage one over the other, but if it were me, I would probably want to go after that extra piece of glass.
Yeah, I would definitely go if I had a choice of going from a doublet achromat to a triplet APO. I mean, it's no.
Yeah, that's just like when with when I was talking with William, having that chat with him, and he was telling me about the future cat series.
Yep.
And he's going to be bringing out those other Petzval, the 80 and the 91. I would definitely go after if I could get my hands on a Cat 91 whenever it comes out. Right. I would happily pay the extra money for that glass.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
What I would absolutely do it.
What do you think about triplets versus quads with the built-in flattener?
Oh, quads. I quads.
Yeah.
I love my White Cat, and it is an awesome telescope. It's an awesome imaging scope in APO. I would definitely know with it without no problem. I would stick with my White Cat with that triple. Well, I mean with the quad. Yeah, with that quad glass, yes, absolutely.
My next thing is going to be some sort of quad, so built-in flattener.
Yeah. And I tell you, the 51 is so inexpensive compared to all these others. I mean, that White Cat was only $700.
Yeah.
Compared to looking at the Zenithstar 126. Yes, granted, it's bigger, of course, but it was $2,100, but the amount of glass and the clarity that I get from that quad or a triple, you really understand more and more how those extra layers of glass do so much more for you. Yeah. So I'd be happy, if once they come out with the more, of those other, with William comes out with those other features, or even if it's another, if it is like say a like an Explorer Scientific, because I remember Trevor from Backyard Astro, I believe he has a carbon
He does.
Yeah, he has a carbon 100 millimeter or 102 millimeter.
102. Yeah, 102.
You know, and those are triplets, and he does fantastic with those guys. So
Yep.
I would spend the money. You know, if I had it to spend and the wife was okay with it, I'd spend the money on the extra glass.
Yeah, absolutely. Over a doublet, especially when you're doing photography, you definitely visually, you know, depending on how out of whack your eyes are. Like if you're like mine and my eyes are out of whack, you may not see visually a difference between the doublet and the triplet.
No.
Yeah, however, when you get into taking pictures, all of a sudden
you will see a difference.
That's what we're talking about. Now I see.
You will see the difference when it comes to imaging. You will definitely see that image. Chris was asking what kind of focuser is on the new Petfo scopes. It's basically the same thing. I don't know if you've seen the White Cat. It's the rotor. I don't know how you pronounce it. It's not the necessarily focus. It's more of the turn focuser.
Yeah, it's a helical focuser.
Helical. Thank you. Couldn't remember the name. So I think it's all the same.
Yeah, so it's a helical focus. A lot of people don't like the helical focuses.
I tell you, I like it. It helps me get in really close. I mean, my star measurements, my HFD or my full weight half measure, I can get really tight on that guy, and I'm getting under one,
right,
on a lot of those. Right. I can get versus the traditional Crawford focusers. I can get even with the micro with the little side tiny micro focuser on there. I can with that helical, I can get even tighter. It's just crazy. I don't know why, but one is that Rasa. The Rasa 8, that focuser, the stock focuser is so tight. You can get so almost granular. It's crazy how well you can do it.
Wow.
And you don't need to go off and buy a new special focuser or anything like that for that Rasa. Like even Chuck Ayub when he was showing off his Rasa 8, he was like, I don't need to hook up this new Celestron electronic focuser because I can get so tight just with the stock focuser right now. I don't need that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so don't change it. If again, I don't know. I don't know. Does he have? Well, I know the White Cat's got the built-in Batnov, but
yes,
the Ross's as far as focus is concerned, I'm pretty sure he's got a motorized focuser on there. No.
No, he did get. I remember as far as for his, when Celestron sent him the package with the Rasa, they gave him also the Celestron focuser, but he said he just hadn't hooked it up yet. He said he decided not to hook it up yet.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
He says he doesn't. He said it was so tight with the stock focuser. He said he hasn't used it yet. Now I know he does have on his C8. He said he has a Moonlight. He does have a Moonlight focuser on that on his 8SE.
Okay.
So yeah. They would. It would be nice if they had a dedicated focus motor for for a helical. It would be nice. I have seen some people actually, engineer and make focusers. Mm-hmm. I think they even somebody even took a Pegasus focus cube
for a helical.
Yeah, they jerry rigged it. They did something else.
It's still like a belt driven kind of.
Yeah, it is. It still uses a belt. Yeah, still uses the belt, but they ended up doing something with a focus cube, and they just added on an extra a longer belt, a bigger belt. But but I think they even. But it would be nice, I guess, to use to get some sort of automatic focusing for a helical, but. For me, right now, I really don't need it. It gets really tight, and then I just lock, and it has the locking ring. I just lock in the, once I get there, I just put in the locking ring, tighten it up, and I'm good to go.
Actually, Mark just said exactly what I was going to say. So yeah, so they do have slippage with belts. It is possible.
Yes.
However, Astro Dad, who makes something called the AF3 focuser. Okay, it's the autofocus 3, and it is belt driven, and he actually 3D prints a collar that goes around the helical focuser or your camera focuser, whatever, that fits the ridges of the belt that he gives you.
Okay.
He makes it different diameters for different whatever focusers, whatever, and you put it on. And so the backlash of it and the slippage on it is down to. I have one. It's down to a minimum. It's really, really a good piece of equipment, and he really does a good job. It's astrodad.com, I think it is, if I remember right.
Okay.
Oh, no, Deep Sky Dad. Deep Sky
Dad. Okay.
Deep Sky
okay.
Dad.
Because that would be interesting because I also have with my Rokinon 135.
Right.
You know, and that's it's just a manual focus. Just a manual DSLR focuser.
Yeah,
it's a full frame manual DSLR. I think it could work with that too. That focuser, I'm pretty sure could work with that. Yep. Yeah, I would like to get a 3D printer if I could figure out how to, use one of those. Because I have gotten quite a few things from Thingiverse, from that they have quite a few things that were 3D printed, so it's nice.
Now I'm gonna kind of lie about what I didn't do. Now with the 3D printed piece, the collar,
Yeah,
I didn't put it on this lens because this is a camera lens, and I'll show it to you in a second. So it's on a 200L Canon lens.
Okay,
and the ridges on the focuser here are very, very deep on the camera lens. So I got very little slippage on, so I didn't need the collar on this, but he does make the collars, just so you know. So when I show it to you and it's not there, you know why.
Right.
so okay.
Okay.
So here's the focuser here.
Yep.
Okay, here's the motor and the belt.
Yep. Okay.
It just goes around the top like that.
Yep. Okay.
It's got power on the side and USB, fully ASCOM.
I was going to ask if it was fully ASCOM.
Fully ASCOM. He's got the drivers for it. It's all set and ready to go. He was very, very helpful. It also has a temperature sensor. So if you want to buy it at an additional price, you can buy a focus sensor for the temperature.
Okay.
And that's it. And this
nice.
Is, this is on a Canon 200L lens, and it works perfectly.
Okay. And it came with that mounting kit there.
This?
Yeah.
No.
Did it come with that? Or did you have that also 3D printed, or was that something different?
No, this is actually made. I got one of the last ones of these. Okay. This is an ADM made bracket for just for a camera lens. Some people make things a little bit differently. But the thing that's good about this is it's rotatable.
Okay.
Okay, so when I go this way, and then...
Oh, wow.
Okay,
nice.
So the camera's rotatable.
Yeah.
So you can rotate it any way you want. Now I haven't really had an opportunity to use a rotator. I don't really need it with this wide field. But, because I'm going to fit whatever I want, and then I'm going to rotate it whichever way I want to anyway. But the focus thing is awesome. I did a couple of weird things here. I wanted to put I got a Batamoon Sky Glow in the front.
Yeah, okay.
So it stepped down a little bit. I get a little bit vignetting, but it's okay. Especially when you're dealing with this wide field of view, it doesn't matter. And for the guide scope.
Yeah, your guide scope. You're nice.
And that's it.
And so the ADM doesn't make those anymore, huh?
It's called the Lisa, named after his wife. It's like I forget. It's L.I.S. I forget what it's called, but I think it's still on his website. But I think he stopped production on it.
Okay.
I think I got one of the last ones. But this is like a really cool thing. I got some cool shots out of North America with this. This is my vacation. Get up and go.
Yeah, there you go. That's a nice get up and go.
Yep.
Rig there. Yeah.
It's good. What is it? It's a 160. So it's a 163 camera, the Qi 163.
Okay.
And that's it. Done.
No, that's nice.
And I throw this guy on top. This is the
there's your guide scope. Yep.
Camera Concepts mini guide scope.
Yep.
So it's a 50 millimeter 1.4 lens on 120 mm. That's it.
Nice.
So that pops on the top like that.
No, that's very cool, man.
There you go. Done.
No, that's your just grab and go.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
it. That's
hey,
my vacation. You know,
what do you mount that on? If when you're traveling, what were you mounted on?
I got my in that bag right there. That's my AZGTI.
Okay,
So that's it.
that's nice.
That's it. So
Yeah, it's almost like a grab and go setup, you know.
and that.
Net.
And that's it. That's it. I'm good to go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So Chris said, very cool. That's nice. 3D printer is on my wish list. It's on everybody's wish list, I think.
I'm just saying that, you know, because I was just saying I use Thingiverse a lot for a lot of my 3D prints right now until I can either figure out how to use a 3D printer myself.
I don't understand. You know, everyone's telling me all these stuff about 3D printers and how you make things, and I'm like, dude, that's too much work.
Exactly.
Too much. What do you mean? I gotta have like AutoCAD to run this stuff.
One of the things that turns me off of it, I'm like, I'll be more than happy to pay you to figure all that out.
I'm telling you, just you know what? I'll give you what the size of this is. You make the thing to fix it, because I'm not doing it. I can't. I don't have the time. I don't have the patience.
No.
Jesse said on Facebook, so if I'm moving from a 70 quad to the ED127, what do you think would be the most optimal exposure? I had gotten comfortable with 7 minutes with the 70 millimeter, but dropped down to 3 playing around last night just because I was worried about my guiding wouldn't be as good with the big jump in focal length. Wow. Well, it really, at one point, it depends on what camera. That's the first thing.
Yeah. What camera are you running on that? Because that's a big difference, you know. It depends. Are you using the same camera? Because sometimes, you have to switch off cameras.
Yeah. You may be under sampling at one point.
Yeah, because you can be dealing with some sampling issues.
Yeah, you may want to go, Jesse. You may want to go. What is it? Astronomy
Yes.
Tools.net.
Astronomy Tools. Yep.
And they have a CCD suitability calculator. It's called.
Yep.
And you could go on there and you could put in the focal length of your scope. She's saying she's got a 294 MC.
Okay.
So you can put that on there and match it with the scope, and see if you're going to be undersampling, oversampling, or you're good.
So let's take a look here.
Oh, you got it.
She says, "Yeah, I've got it going here." What kind of scope did she say she has?
So it's an ED. Well, she's starting with a 70 millimeter quad. I need to know the focal length on that to kind of.
Yeah. What brand is that?
She's still on, so she'll answer.
Okay.
Give her a second.
I'll switch over to get a 294 because I have one of those. All right.
Yeah, her and I were talking last night on while we were both imaging.
Okay.
Yeah, she came up to me. What was it? Well, I started this project about 2 years ago. It was called my friend Charlie. So it was Cosmic Charlie and Declination Dan. We were doing like something like this.
Nice.
So we were doing this, and it started to take off. We got 1,500 Facebook friends, and we got a couple things going on. And Charlie had some family issues, so he dropped out. So then I started doing some videos on my own, and then I hooked up with Tim. I started Astroworld, and then I hooked up with Tim, saying, why don't we get together? We could have both sides of the planet talking to each other, and I think it'd be a good thing. So it turned into this. So, so the 70 is 350 millimeters, and the ED is 952. Wow, so you're tripling almost.
Yeah, so you're right there as far as with the 127 ED. You're right there with the 294. So there's no problems there.
Was she oversampling with the 70?
So let me take a look here.
At 350 millimeters?
No, I don't think you would. At 350, let me see. Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I thought
with
so.
Yeah, you are. You're undersampling. You are
So
undersampling.
you may be getting some blocky type stars, depending on by how much. You have to judge that by the picture. But that may
But for
not
the
be,
294 for 127, that's great because that's what I use it 126 and it's great.
So she's ideal at that point, I think, right? She's pretty close to it.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah,
Yep,
so,
she is.
I mean that's a great combo with the 127. However, you're gonna she actually put she doesn't have a flattener yet. You're going to need the flattener. The curvature on the 127. Because I had the 120. I think she's talking about the Explore Scientific. So correct me if I'm wrong, Jesse. The 127 curvature on that, I got towards the edges over almost 170% curvature on that. And what that means is on the sides, everything is out of focus and all turned around without the flattener. Once I put the flattener on there from Explore, even just the stock one from Explore Scientific, once I put the curvature was down in the teens to like 19, 18%. So, I mean, it was just night and day. I mean, I didn't even know what I was looking at until I actually put the flattener on. I'm like, oh, yeah, this kind of looks like crap. So got to get the flattener.
Yeah, you got to get a flattener. Absolutely.
With any refractor, you got to have it.
Yes. Because if you have the 294 with that flattener, if you get an 8, if you get a 0.8 reducer flattener, you're still in a sweet spot. Yeah, you're definitely in a sweet spot. Either way,
but optics that we were talking about, that worked great with the 127 that I had on it. That worked awesome. That's the one that got me down to like 19% curvature, and it actually helped my tilt, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know why it would help my tilt, but it did.
Because you're down to like in the 780, 770, like 780, as far as your focal length. So you're really good.
Yeah. So Mick on Facebook actually, is it helpful to use a street light filter for astrophotography, or does it swallow up too much of the light?
No, absolutely. Get a filter.
Oh yeah, okay. I was like,
no. You've got to get a light suppression filter. Absolutely, yeah. Some sort of city light suppression filter, no matter what.
Yeah. So whether that be an L Pro or Batter Moon and Sky Glow or whatever,
or what is it? The IDAS.
IDAS V.
IDAS 7. Yeah. You've got to get one. So no matter what, I would highly recommend that.
Now it also really depends on what the street light is, what kind of street light it is. If you have an LED street light, you're gonna be hurting. If you have a regular sodium vapor or mercury vapor light, then that helps humongously. So LEDs kind of suck, even though it's great for energy consumption for the town. It doesn't work that great for us.
Now, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the Optilong L Pro does help quite a bit with LED. I
don't know what they do to it, but I think I've heard that before.
I'm not sure what they've done with theirs, but I think I've heard that somewhere that it's nice. But I have an L Pro, and I use that for my luminance for everything.
Yeah,
I have that as my luminance for if I'm using it. Once I finally start using my 1600, I'll use that for my luminance for the 1600. I'll use it. I use it on a 294 all the time, unless I'm using like a Sky Glow or my UH or a Nebula UHCS. But no, the L Pro is on there all the time, unless I'm doing something specific.
Okay. I got all this garbage here. I got so much stuff, and it's
amazing how much stuff I've collected over these few years.
It's
amazing.
It wasn't an L Pro. It was an L Enhance that I have.
L Enhance is nice too.
Yeah, that's.
I have one of those as well. I have them both.
See, the problem with this is it doesn't fit my filter wheel, so that's why it's still in the box. So,
okay, is that like a 2-inch?
It's a 2-inch. You know what would be good if I put it on.
There you go.
And do some narrowband with with this.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. So
Now, what I've started doing is when I'm not using my filter wheel, especially with the 294, what I started doing is I use this Arizona filter slider that I'm using for the Rasa.
Yep.
It's basically the same thing. So I'm actually using that because I have so many 2-inch filters now. So I'm starting to use that now more and more, and especially if I'm using a one-shot color, I don't really need the filter wheel because I can just go ahead and grab whichever 2-inch filter I'm going to use, either the L Enhance or the L Pro, just slide it in there. Hey there, and just go for it.
That's my co-host from the niche shows. Hey, Pep. What's up, boy? What are you doing? You don't even want to be here. Yeah, I know. That's okay. There you go, boy. Go ahead.
Yeah. The L Enhance is fantastic for a one-shot color. It really is, Chris. I totally agree with you there. I actually have several multi-band filters. I've got the L Enhance. I've got the original Triad, but it's only a 1 1/4, and I've got the Altair Astro Quad band. Which has the H Alpha, H Beta, O3, and the S2.
Man,
that one's really nice too.
I've been dying to find and I know there's one out there, and I just don't know who makes it. Just an H Beta filter, 36 millimeters. I could throw in there. Just H Beta at all.
Okay. It's H Beta. Huh. Optilong doesn't make one, huh? On their own, huh? Oh, interesting.
No, it's tough. It's a really, really, really tough thing to find.
Yeah,
you can't find it anywhere. But it shifts your spectrum a little bit from H alpha to H beta, so the color contrast is a little different.
Okay.
And I'm dying to find one. I can't find one. I'll probably pay up the wazoo for it, but
okay. Yeah. Another one. I don't even understand the need for it. So if anybody knows, let me know. What is the need for a nitrogen filter? I've seen some of those.
Clue. I've seen somebody. That's a different type of palette, though.
Yeah.
I have seen. What is it? What HNO? I think it was HNO palette.
Okay.
But I have not. I don't know. I don't know what the difference is. Well, the nitrogen wavelength. What is that? So.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what I've just seen it. I've seen somebody, advertise or recommend, for imaging, you should also have, maybe consider getting a nitrogen, but I'm not. What do you need it for? Because I'm so used to the Hubble palette, having the sulfur, the hydrogen alpha, and the oxygen. I don't know what the need is for a nitrogen.
I don't even know. I have not. I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even fake an answer. I don't know what you would use it for. I'm trying. I can't even find the nitrogen nanometer line on here.
Right. What?
Strong lines of nitrogen.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's too much. Too many numbers.
Can't
figure it out. Can't figure it out. Well, if anybody knows, just let us know because we don't know.
Yeah, just let us know because I have no idea.
I have seen stuff like that before with nitrogen, but I have not known anybody that actually consistently found it. Chris found it, 658 nanometers. So that's close to your set. Well, that's towards the blue-violet side, if I remember right. Because red's 400, right?
Okay, yeah, okay.
And so blue is 700. So that's probably a little bit past the O3. I think O3 is 652, is it, if I remember right?
Okay, let's see here. All right, so if you're there, all right, so 658, if I'm looking at this right, I'm looking, 658.
Well, O3 is 495 to 500, it looks like.
Okay. Oh, wife's calling, hold on.
Yep, no problem. I'll look at it. Yeah, so it's definitely more. It gives you more blue instead of green. It looks like as far as The O3 is a little bit more of the green type area. Huh. Huh? Maybe nitrogen. Get a little blue. Am I backwards on it? Oh man, I'm backwards on it. I am sorry. I'm. 700's red. My bad. Okay. So yeah, you're right, Chris. I'm sorry. My bad. Yeah, so 700's red. 658's a little bit less than red. So.
Right by HA.
Yeah, so I had it backwards. 700's red, 400's blue.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking at this here as far as the visible light spectrum as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's closer to the red. Okay.
Yeah, so it's closer to the red. I mean, I guess it gives you I don't know, maybe a little more of a pinker type hue, I would guess.
Okay.
But they're saying Astrodon has one for nitrogen, but
Astrodon's expensive.
Well, I have Astrodon LRGB, and that was expensive. So I can just imagine what Astrodon.
I can only imagine. Yeah. Well, hey Dan, I've got to run. Like the wife is calling. It's dinner time for Easter.
Oh, geez. Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's what time is it? What time? It's 4 o'clock?
It's a Sunday. We usually have early. usually have early dinners, especially on a holiday.
It's 4 o'clock anyway. I mean, it's
Yeah.
And the dog's starting to bark like crazy, and Jen's trying to work. So.
No, but hey, thank you for having me on again, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, you're always welcome, brother.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, and I'm glad I was able to catch up with you guys and Tim. And seriously, if you guys ever want me on this, just let me know. And I love answering questions, even if I don't know any answer, I'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, the next, I think in the next couple of shows we're gonna have Alan on. I know.
Okay,
Alan
awesome.
is gonna be coming on. Talking about his wires and stuff like that, and how to kind of make everything nice and neat.
Oh, cable management. That is going to be a great show.
Thinking about that. And then we're going to have Adam Block on and Amy Astro. So
are you serious?
Yep.
Adam Block?
Yep. Adam Block came online today, right before you came on, and said, because I'm actually a customer of Adam Block's now.
Okay.
but and I guess he was on and heard it, and he said and I pumped up his website so much. He said whenever you want to come on, I'll come on.
Awesome. Because I was actually looking at his website just yesterday because I'm still new to Pix Insight and trying to learn this awesome piece of software, and I've actually been contemplating on going after the fundamentals.
Yeah, I have the fundamentals.
Okay. So no, that would be a great ad. And Amy, I've been watching a lot of her videos, so having Amy Astro on, that would be great as well. So no, some great guests coming on. That'd be awesome.
Yep, and I'm sure that if I give TJ a call, he'll be on too, talking about ZWO and his stuff.
Yeah, because he's got a hyperstar, and I'd love to catch up with and chat with him. So no, absolutely. Yeah, I heard he had a little bit of a delay on his He's building a shed, not a shed, but an observatory.
Yeah,
he's doing an observatory, but I've heard that he's had a little bit of delay issue up in Canada, so he's on hold for that right now. But I'd like to catch up with him.
15, 18. I'm counting the videos that he has in the fundamentals. So 9, 11, 14, 15, 18, 22, 24, 26, 28, 34, 43, 47, 57. 87, 89. You talk about over 100 videos in just the fundamentals.
Yeah, that's worth it.
It goes anywhere from your quick start of just starting it up, all the way to an actual workflow that he actually does on a Galaxy.
No, that's awesome. Yeah. No, I'm definitely going to do that. I've got to try that out. I've got to check out his stuff because I heard, he's really helpful as far as the way he talks and translates.
I agree.
Picks insights. So I think it'll be really worth it. Well, like I said, I got to run, Dan, but it's been Austin. Have a great Easter. Have a great Easter, everybody. I'm looking forward to being back on again, but I can't wait to check out Amy Astro and Adam Block.
Yep. All right, very good, man. We'll have a good Easter, and we'll see you soon, and take care. Stay safe.
Thanks. Yeah, you too as well. Take it easy.
Have a good one.
You too.
Bye-bye.